Just play that one.
It wasn't me this time.
It wasn't.
It wasn't me this time.
And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Cigar City Sports Podcast with your host, Jack Austin. Mr. Nello's here with us. How are you, buddy?
I can't wait to play the Bucs in the playoffs.
Ryan here with me, as always.
Oh, yeah. Last one of the year. Had to show up.
Last one of the year. And returning from his hiatus, Mr. Clay.
Hello, hello.
We are back for the last really important week of college football before it's just playoffs or just championship and we're done. We're there. We finally made it.
Kansas State after that game. After the championship game.
Wow. I can't wait to see that one.
And guys, I'm entering the transfer portal. I'm changing to a different podcast. Sorry.
Okay. Is it the Alter Ego podcast?
Maybe. Could be. Might be Tower 4.
There you go.
What's the NIL deal that I got to give you to let you stay?
About
What's the
$1 million. Got to max that bad boy.
$1 million?
Max it.
I'm going to max it on one player.
Does it have to be real money or can it be Monopoly money?
Bro. Can't pay bills with Monopoly money.
He's going to pay you in skin when he has to wear his Dallas cheerleaders.
I can't find it. I know people are like, these guys.
Someone out here, please help us out. Let's find geez. Let's get a converted size from the females for Nello.
It's definitely a double XL in male.
Double XL men's Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. There's enough freaks on the internet to know that this thing exists.
Yeah, it's there.
We just need to track it down.
And even better, I would prefer if it was an XL.
Yeah.
Whoa. Come on, dude. We have to keep certain objects in the clothes.
You ever buy those Jimmy Dean sausage things? And as soon as you just pierce the edge, it just comes erupting out.
I want it looking like a busted can of biscuits.
We want you to have labored breathing once it's on.
Wow.
We want you.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I want it to be so tight your fingers and toes are going numb.
Give me a D.
I am not saying give me a D.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. That wasn't the chant we agreed.
Doesn't matter.
Give me scissors. Cut me out of this damn
Scissor
thing.
me Xerxes.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
So
we're going to have the police or the fire department on standby with the jaws of life to get you out of that thing.
Local restaurant and podcaster gets arrested downtown St. Petersburg for his costume exploding all over the people.
Lewd and lascivious behavior.
In the headline of the Tampa Bay Times just read, "Give him a D."
Nice.
Oh my God!
And so here's what's going to happen when they come to the source to find out what it was. We're going to tell them you did that because you're such a big Dallas fan and you were so happy they were making the playoffs.
Wow, that's dirty.
And that way they just write that story completely like that.
That's terrible.
Local Dallas fan got a little bit in over his head this week. And Dallas fan Nello Camerota,
that's disgusting.
who could not be reached for comment.
Oh my gosh, what you just said just gave me like chills and goosebumps and made me want to like hurl.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's good.
that's good.
Good for you, buddy.
Let's
Good
talk
for
about
you.
college ball.
Let's do that.
Who
Let's
went 3-0 last week?
Give us the games you went 3-0 on too.
Army, Mizzou.
Oh, okay.
I took Army.
Yeah, you did. I definitely took Mizzou.
UCF, Florida.
I want to talk about that one. Go to your last one because you were undefeated.
And then Houston beat Auburn.
Yeah, wow. Unreal.
You didn't take Utsa?
Well, I was watching they wouldn't let us pick those games. The captain of the ship said no one cares, and we didn't pick them.
I was going to say, guess what? Those last three you just named, I still don't care about those.
Oh, Utsa was Tuesday, so that makes sense.
Well, there you go.
You wouldn't pick it anyway.
Yeah. So, undefeated. The Gators. Guys, Gator fans, I know there's a lot of you out there.
Run.
What's going on? Or, I mean, like, at this point, the excitement for this new coach has to be somewhat stifled a little bit because you guys were super pumped about Dan Mullen.
Non-existent.
So were you worried about that feeling hitting you again, like getting so involved in Billy Napier? Do you want to just hitch your horses to that wagon right now? Or are you getting a little gun shy about this?
My question is, was this team this bad all year and just Dan Mullen's name and prestige was hyping them up? Or did this team just say, screw the University of Florida and Dan Mullen, we don't care this year? Like, you know what I'm saying?
This team is not a bad team. This is not a bad football team by any means. They have a couple of things.
Gators?
Yeah,
They're fucking trash.
They lack leadership on both sides of the ball, and that's a big deal. Their coaching was atrocious. They have a super, super talented team, but like you remember a couple years ago, Alabama, they were primed to go to the playoffs, and then they got knocked out, and then they played Utah, and Utah beat the hell out of them. They just didn't care. If they weren't going to a national championship, they don't care.
Louisville
And
did the
same
same
with
thing.
some of these Florida guys. They find out they're not in the playoffs. They're in the Meineke Car Care Bowl, and they're like, I don't care.
You know, why
So-
would you? Like I said, it's a participation trophy.
It's a way to send your season off. And for a lot of those guys, they clearly didn't care. Now there's no loyalty to it's my last year as a Gator. It's I'm going to hit the transfer portal and go somewhere else. I don't understand. And I wonder if like this is partially on the boosters too. You know, to constantly ask for so much success out of these teams and not giving them time to develop. Not saying necessarily Mullen, but let's be honest. The Gators do have a history of pressuring their coaches when things don't go well. Urban Meyer, who's a piece of shit, but he won you a national championship.
2 of them.
He was not doing great.
I mean, I had to fake a heart attack to get out
Faked
of
a
there.
heart attack. Also had some killers on the roster.
Yeah.
And
Squad full of killers.
wasn't really looking at the character of the people he was recruiting. In some cases, they do have some phenomenal players there. But what's the big problem? You think it's just coaching? I don't think it's just coaching.
No, it's an atmosphere thing. It has to be a complete atmosphere thing.
Yeah.
It can't just be coaching.
That place has got to have quiet hallways right now.
But Florida's teetering on that Florida State level where if it starts getting even worse, these other schools around like Miami, UCF,
No,
can start building programs too.
I don't agree with that.
I don't see UCF doing that, but
I didn't see them beating the Gators either, and they did. But they definitely wanted this game more.
oh yeah.
I want to give a shout
was
out
clear.
to UCF. They were both at a friend of ours movie theater in Tampa. Both schools went to the theater, and
Saw that.
one school behaved much better. Some of their seniors even stayed behind and cleaned up everybody's mess. Shout out to UCF. Good on you, boys.
So it's a program thing then.
I think so.
Oh, yeah, I mean, come on.
I mean, it's you could see it clearly. You had a lot of. I mean, Emory Jones isn't great. We know that.
He out of there.
But that Richardson guy, the backup, he's great. They misused him. You could tell that he hasn't been properly mentored or coached in his short time.
Right.
Take a young guy like Bryce Young that comes out and does so well right out of the gate. You can tell that's what's going on off the field. So that's just not Mullen, though.
And all these
Your quarterback's coach is to blame there. Your OC is to blame there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people blame to go around. I just hope they give Napier, which I've been calling him Napier this whole time. Napier. I hope they give him a legit shot, because if they give him 3 years and can him, they're just gonna prolong their mediocrity by doing that.
I think so too. I don't think, like Nello said, that they're close to becoming an FSU. I think they've got far too
What's
much
the difference?
talent on their team. And if Napier can get in there and get some early wins and get their confidence back, you'll see Florida bounce back really quickly. The difference is the lack of talent at the FSU program.
Bro,
You guys don't
shit
have-
on my boys like that.
Well,
Tell me
I mean,
where
they're
I'm wrong.
Sorry, but I don't know if they Gators sorry.
well, when
I mean, the only difference between FSU and Florida right now this year is the fact that you guys lost to Jackson State and they beat Sanford. That's it.
So let's go to rivals and take a look at the last 5-10 years and see who's got the better recruiting classes. Now, is the recruiting class the answer to everything? Absolutely not. But I guarantee you, we go back 5 years, Florida's ahead of Florida State all 5 years.
yeah,
I'd be willing to make that bet.
I wonder who's ahead now,
Yeah, I
though, because
agree.
it's not Florida.
I mean, I know they got a quarterback coming from Ohio State.
Miami's doing real well in the recruiting game right now.
I can promise you, Napier is going to have at the end of recruiting season, they'll end up a pretty high class.
It's tough right now to compete with Miami because they have guys like Michael Irvin and Ed Reed who are recruiting for them like crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you're a DB, specifically a safety, you're going to Miami.
If you're one of those offensive skill positions that like all these Florida schools are looking for, at this point in time, I'm going to Miami.
Yeah.
None of those offensives has showed me that you guys are going to be able to use my talent at the best. So I'll take Cristobal over anybody else who's now coaching in Miami.
I mean,
I don't know if I'm a quarterback or a wide receiver, I'd like to play in a Napier offense.
Yeah.
It's like just like old dude that left Oklahoma to follow Lincoln Riley to USC. It'd be crazy to stay in Oklahoma.
yeah.
Well, like I just said, Ohio State's quarterback, he just transferred
But
to.
as
yours.
of right now, the 2022 class, not last year, 2022, Florida State is number 12 in the country right now. And Florida's not on that top 15 list. So
Yeah, they've been dropping fast.
Very fast. Like Dan Mullen has done them no
yeah,
favors.
Florida is at 46th in the country right now. But let's go back to 2021.
I'm going to give old Dan a little bit of a small pass.
The worst recruiter in college football.
The
Whoa.
timing, we're not going to
Okay.
go that far.
Okay.
Worst in college
Definitely not the worst. I can tell you this, Mike Shula for sure is worse than Mullen. That's for sure.
He had a tough time getting people to go to Tuscaloosa.
If it wasn't for Shula, I really think Tebow would have been at Alabama. I think he would have gone to Alabama. Shula did very little to try to recruit him.
I bet Urban Meyer was filling Tebow's head with all this Jesus and God has a plan for us, and you need to come
win
play
a
with me
national
stuff.
championship though around that time when Tebow was around?
Yeah.
Well,
We beat him
after
in,
Saban came,
Yeah.
09.
But he beat you first, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
He beat us first in a SEC championship
08.
game. We then beat them in a national title.
So Florida won the 08 national championship.
Was that when you stuffed him at the goal line?
They beat Alabama in the
Wait,
SEC.
I think that was
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
we're talking
Tebow made
SEC
a-
championship
and
games.
It's the wide open throw that my
And
little
then-
sister could have made. Yeah,
09,
That's not saying much.
09 Alabama
Tebow's
won the
sake.
national
Tebow's
championship.
trash.
Beat Florida in the SEC. Made Urban Meyer went to the hospital that night, and Tebow cried on the sidelines.
Are you guys surprised Meyer didn't go to
So,
the hospital in Jacksonville?
Last year in the Florida recruiting game, Miami came in at 10th. Florida was at 11. So just like my point being made about Florida State, Florida State's down there at 31. Let's go back to 2020 now. I'll keep this updated as we have this conversation. But I'm telling you, Florida has the better talent right now sitting on its roster.
Does it though? Did
It
you
does.
see the
Yeah.
talent that played UCF?
Okay, so
backup quarterback.
we're going to do this now.
Okay.
We're going to stop talking about Florida's performance against UCF in the bowl.
What about Sanford?
You didn't see them play. You could see it clearly, just like he said Alabama against Utah, and when Louisville drummed us in the Sugar Bowl.
They didn't care.
They don't care.
And just to go back the next year, the Florida Gators are number 7th in the country, and Florida State is 20th. I'll go back one more year because that's where we can actually see the influence of these coaches and who's on what squad. But Florida is never too far away from being in the conversation. And at the beginning of the year when they were winning games, we were talking about them like they were in the conversation. They fell apart. And once again, the Gators were 8th in the country. Florida State was 17th.
That's still
Florida
not a far
has the talent.
disparaging
It is.
I mean, it's still
gap.
It's a pretty big gap, especially 7th and 30th. You said,
Yeah.
that's a pretty big gap.
Well, that last one was 7th and
8th
3rd.
and 17th.
Yeah, 8th and 17th, and then 7th and 20th.
20th.
So I mean, not Florida State. Yeah, sure, you're kicking a lot of teams' asses, just not the ones that are in state with you. You're not beating Miami, and you're not beating Florida, and you have to.
It's hard. It is tough. I mean, you got to give it. You know, the thing about Dan Mullen at Florida and just not being able, he got the talent, he just couldn't coach them. But at the same time, I think going back to the point of, is there some blame on the boosters? Yeah, I think a lot of your Florida, but your big storied programs like that, where the school kind of revolves around that for them. Their boosters, they want that top 5 recruiting class because
Right.
they just want the bragging rights. They just want to be able to talk about it and brag about it. And I think I will say this about Mullen. He just came to Florida at probably the worst time,
Okay.
if I had to say so.
No, I don't disagree.
Like people get so hyped about recruiting classes. I think of it almost like a draft. Like, just because you get them doesn't mean they're necessarily talented.
Right.
For sure.
And so it's like, oh, we got a top 5 recruiting class, but we're fucking 1 in 9.
Well, people talk about 4 stars and 3 stars are typically the studs, not the 5s.
And you're not wrong there, but when you look at the teams that are there and are consistently in the top 10, those are also the teams that are consistently playing for conference championships, playing for national championships. I mean, we're talking the Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama. That's who's always at the top. So it's hard to say that it doesn't directly equate to a good program, but you're absolutely right. Every program has had that recruit that they were so jazzed about that just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of bowls are getting canceled because of the COVID. Today, the UCLA-NC State match got canceled because UCLA got sick.
Right.
Aww.
The Barstool lost their bowl, too, because one of the teams from that bowl and another bowl got sick, and then the team that was Arizona, whoever was playing that Arizona ball went to play the other team in their bowl. So that whole Barstool bowl is off.
Damn. Sorry, buddy. What's his name, your buddy?
Portnoy.
Sorry, Jeff.
That sucks. Go eat some
Sucks
pizza.
to suck.
David.
That's what I said.
You said Jeff.
I said Jeff and looked right at Clay.
I know.
It was funny.
Oh, man.
But my question with the COVID is, with all these bowls getting canceled, no one cares. So the whole point of expanding the playoffs and getting rid of all this crap is actually a good idea.
I hope all of this type of stuff, the players sitting out to this degree, and it's getting worse. We see that. I hope it does get rid of a lot of these dumb bowls.
Yeah.
No one cares, though.
I mean,
NCAA cares.
Think about it. Penn State players are sitting
it's
out
a money
Ohio
thing.
State games.
Exactly.
They care about their money.
Their pockets are lighter. Their pockets are much lighter.
Disney, of course, is
Yeah.
going to back bowls because they're making hella money on TV, on advertising, and all of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't see it ever happening anytime soon, but it would be nice to get rid of a bunch of that and then add to the playoffs. So that, I mean, think about it. You've got all these games that have been going on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays for the last week and a half. Why would you not just have freaking rounds of playoffs on these weeks?
If this was playoff football for these college teams, you would see a lot more people sticking around to play. Because if they could be the outside shot at being a champ, I mean, we saw Kyle Pitts sit out of the SEC championship last year because he knew, even though if Florida won, they weren't going in, so he didn't play. But if they said, Florida, you're going to get your shot, let's call it a conference champion gets in, and they win, then you're going to see somebody like Pitts want to play and then want to go to the playoffs and win himself a national championship. It changes the whole outlook of the college football playoff. Still have these pointless, shitty bowls for the smaller teams, but expand it so that more good, talented teams and our friend Robin Hood over here would love to see the smaller Mountain West schools get
4-1. 4-1 in the bowl season. What's up with the SEC? 0-3. Just saying.
So proud of them.
Listen, I'm just saying.
So proud.
Probably playing.
Just saying. 4-1.
Yes,
4-1.
that conference is way more talented than the SEC. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
I never said that. I'm just saying.
No, we're saying it for you. You're right. The Mountain West is the premier conference in college football.
I know.
Shall we talk games for this week? Because there's a lot of decent games.
I know.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break and then we will get into picks for next week. Huh?
So let's do it.
Be right back. I almost don't want to pick these teams because that means it's going to be real. And we're going to be losing college football.
We still have LSU and Kansas State.
Oh, God. Kansas State. Okay, not Kansas. Not the one that said, please, anybody, come to our game. The doors are open.
Why are they playing that on the 4th?
I have no idea.
COVID.
Was that it?
I have no idea.
No, I don't know.
That's
I think it was
just-
just scheduled that way.
That's weird to have a random bowl on the 4th.
Yeah,
I think it's a worthless bowl at that. It's not even
it
something
is.
anyone
Nobody's
wants.
nobody's going to be paying attention
It's-
unless you are a Tigers fan or a Kansas State fan.
Are there any this year?
Tax Act Texas Bowl.
Well, can't wait to see that one.
That had to have been something to do with COVID and it being pushed.
All right, Nello, let's get us going, man. Let's do some picks for this week.
So I was gonna do UCLA, NC State, but I'm not. So we're gonna go to the next game.
Right, because that one got canceled, so we're
Canceled.
going to skip that.
Mississippi State, Texas Tech for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
I'm picking COVID.
Oh, come on, man. We're not doing this shit.
I'm going to go with Texas A&M in that game.
No, Texas Tech.
Oh,
Texas A&M also sitting out their bowl because of COVID.
well, damn. I take that back then. I'm going Mississippi State.
Okay.
I was about to be like, Mississippi State has not had the worst year ever. They have had some good rallies. They've played some tough games. They haven't been able to finish it, but I think they'll finish against Texas
Mississippi
Tech.
State's going to destroy Texas Tech.
Where is? I don't even see this game.
Right here, AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Memphis, Tennessee.
The
That's where they're
AutoZone
playing.
Liberty Bowl plus.
And does anybody get a quarter?
Yeah. Yeah, he's sitting right there. Flip him.
All right, come on, let's go. Give me a name. Jeez.
Give us something. Texas Tech, Mississippi State. This should not be that difficult.
What are we
Told you,
doing
I took
here?
COVID. It's gonna get
I'm
canceled.
going Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mississippi State's going to wipe the floor. I'm just going to put Mississippi
All right.
State for you.
That's fine because I don't care.
Okay, West Virginia, Minnesota.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Oh.
Those Badgers.
That is
You got or the Gophers.
Yeah, the
You got to
Gophers.
watch those Gophers.
Watch
okay?
out, the Hunter, though. What did they call the
Um,
Mountaineers or whatever?
I'm
the
gonna
West
go.
Virginia
I'm going
Mountaineers.
West Virginia.
Not me. No
I'll
way.
Take them
I've,
Golden Gophers.
I've seen enough Golden Gophers football this year to know that they got some fight in them. They don't have that stud running back, but I'm still going to go with the Gophers. They've been playing really fucking tough football all year.
That defense can play.
Yeah.
You took West Virginia, you said?
Yeah.
He's taken them a couple times, and they've done him right, and they've done him wrong.
Yep.
Number 19, Clemson versus Iowa State.
Oh, God. This is a stinker bowl, too.
Oh,
I mean, compared to Mississippi State, Texas Tech, I don't know about stinker.
I'm going Iowa State.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Iowa State as well because I think Clemson is going to have that slump of one of those big programs. It's like, why are we here?
Yeah.
And Iowa State is coming for blood. Give me the Cyclones.
That's my reason I'm picking Iowa State. Clemson's only a 2.5 point favorite. So
It's actually really-
that should tell you a lot.
Vegas is thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was thinking. I
For
was like,
sure.
I'll take Clemson.
they're just gonna
Dabo Sweeney, we trust.
Nah.
Yeah, no, he's the one reason to be worried because if there's no Dabo Sweeney, you're not considering this game much.
The next game is the Valero Alamo Bowl.
Oh boy,
This is a good
It's a
one.
really good game. Number 14, Oregon versus number 16, Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner.
ooh,
That's going to be. I think that's going to
Spicy.
be
It's
good.
going to be a great game.
I just saw where I'm reading this now. Oklahoma's a 6.5 point favorite.
yeah, the over-under is
Or,
60.
I don't see it.
But there's a lot of players missing on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't know who's all out and who's sitting out, but
Who's the quarterback
On-
for Oregon? Is he out?
Williams.
The transfer, is he out?
No, he's going to play.
no, Oklahoma's Williams. Brown.
Caleb
is Oregon.
Williams, and then Brown is Oregon. But the Thibodeau, the defensive end for Oregon, isn't going to play. So I'll take Oklahoma.
But their running backs are there.
Verrett's out all year. I don't think Oregon, and they just went under a coaching change too.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that Oregon's running back is not playing either?
Yeah, Verrett broke got injured
Travis
earlier.
Dye. It looks like he's playing.
Yeah, but Verrett is
So-
their starting.
Travis
running back.
Dye is the running
No,
back.
Travis
for-
Dye is the starter. He's the.
Before Dye was Verrett, the kid that balled out against Ohio State.
He had 2 4-touchdown games.
Yeah.
He's
he
out.
got injured earlier in the year. Yeah, and he hasn't played all
I'm
year.
still taking Oregon.
I'm
I
taking
still-
Oregon
Yeah, I
as
think
well.
with that quarterback, Oregon will get the job
Let's
done.
not forget how
Oklahoma.
lackluster Oklahoma has looked this year. I mean, I'm going to take Oregon confidently.
I'm gonna take
Oklahoma. The next game,
You're both taking Oklahoma.
absolutely.
Split on that one.
The next game, Tennessee versus Purdue Boilermakers.
I'm taking Purdue.
Purdue.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Is this a hate thing?
It's the
Partially.
transfer. What?
Partially.
It's because you hate Tennessee that much.
Fuck Tennessee. Fuck Phil Fulmer too. Badass.
It's the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
Who are you taking?
Who,
Nello?
me? I'm taking Tennessee. I love that,
All right,
that quarterback.
A little bit of hate, but there's a lot of it that Purdue's one of those upset teams.
This is
they
an
love
even
to
game.
upset. And I think that the SEC is going to have an absolute atrocious bowl season that they're already off to a start on. And I think Tennessee's going to – I think it's a lot of the same, man. You've got their quarterback and their number one wide receiver are guys that don't give a shit about this game. And without those two guys, Tennessee's offense is
So Hendon
non-existent.
Hooker is not playing for Tennessee? Is that what I'm
Well,
hearing?
no, I haven't heard they're not going to play, and I would know. I would have seen something. Somebody would have posted one of my Tennessee
As of right now,
friends
this game
and
is still
whatever.
played.
But I think they're playing. It's just going to be one of those situations where their heart ain't in it.
I'm looking at this game, and I'm going to disagree with you. I think Tennessee is going to have a much better game than you think.
Yeah.
Because they've had a lackluster season when they were starting to try and look good, and this is that game that they're going to be looking at as a statement game for them. And I don't think Purdue has faced a quarterback that has over 500 yards rushing throughout the season. So I'm going to take Tennessee, as you said last time for Oregon, confidently. I think Tennessee's got Purdue.
Give me the Boilermakers.
Purdue. Another split. All right. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Pittsburgh, Michigan State. Now, the running back and the quarterback, I don't know the situation if they're playing or not. Kenny Pickett hasn't come out and said he's playing or not.
Oh, for Pittsburgh?
Yeah. So
But the running back for Michigan State, you don't know either.
no. There was the last time I read anything, there was rumbling about them maybe sitting out and just going to the draft. But like that changes my pick. If Pittsburgh has Pickett, I'll take Pitt.
I'm taking Michigan State.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, I'm taking Michigan State as well, just because it's college and the running game of Michigan State has proved to be too much for some really good teams this year. I'm going to stick with Sparty.
But we don't know if Walker's playing.
Doesn't matter.
I that does matter.
Okay.
But I think the trenches for Michigan State on both sides are just better.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh.
Even without Pickett? Wow. And their O coordinator left too. I'll take Pittsburgh, but if Pickett's not there,
Oh, so I'm
alone.
I'm the lone man?
both of you guys.
Oh, you took Michigan State too?
Yeah.
Dude, it's
okay,
been a
yeah.
pretty split the way through. There's not a lot of agreeing here. Wisconsin, Arizona State.
Ooh. You know what?
SRS Distribution, Las
Take the
Vegas.
Badgers.
Yeah, give me the Badgers. They turned it on late. Way too late, but they turned it on late. Give me the Badgers.
I'm taking the Badgers as well.
I'm taking Herm Edwards. Give me Arizona State.
Shocking no one.
Wake Forest, Rutgers.
Oh, God.
But Rutgers wasn't supposed to play this game. The team who was originally supposed to play Forest had to drop out because of COVID.
Rutgers.
The Gator Bowl.
It's Rutgers versus who
Wake
again?
Forest.
I'm going Wake Forest all day.
Me too. Wake Forest has done a lot, and I'm looking at the stats for Rutgers, who still has, you want to talk about a fucking hate pick? Fuck Rutgers head coach.
Why is that?
Because he's a piece of actual shit.
Greg Schiano, no.
Greg Schiano is a hot, steaming turd that somebody forgot they put in an oven and then opened the oven to the football world.
I did like seeing the fire 'em billboards around Tampa for a while.
It was so refreshing when he got fired.
Endorsed by Bill Belichick. You guys just want to throw him away like hot trash.
How about, though, let's be honest, he had Rutgers humming
Before
until
he
he
left.
left, and now he's back and getting instant karma.
He is building that program from the ashes, though. I'll give him credit.
Yeah,
they are somewhat competitive.
right.
They're not going to beat Wake.
Happy competitive. They're competitive at 5-7, 0-3 in their own conference.
I'm just saying they had 0 wins last year.
Hey, but they going
I'll
to
take
slay
Wake
some
Forest.
taxes.
5-7. I'm taking Wake all fucking day.
Wake should be across the board. The next game, Penn State.
you were arguing with me
no,
this whole
absolutely
time.
not. Absolutely not. What?
Man, I would hate to have my boy. If I was a player, I would hate for them to be like, "You're going to Jacksonville."
Yeah. Oh, God.
What?
The Outback Bowl, Penn State, Arkansas. I'm not excited. All the big top boys in Penn State are sitting out. They're going to the draft.
You know who's going to be excited? Woo Pig Suey. They are coming in.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
And Bumper Pool has been flying around all year long for them.
Yeah, I'm going Arkansas.
I'm going Arkansas just based on the fact that their defense is doing better than they have in recent years. But I would not, under any circumstances, write off Penn State, because if they can bottle up Jefferson at quarterback, it's a game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Is it just your wide receiver sitting, or is it your quarterback?
The safety
sitting?
is
Wide
too.
receiver and a big safety.
The safety.
On number 14.
I don't know his number.
Oh man, no, can't. I got to go with the Arkansas guys. Those are the best players, bro.
Well,
Fuck
who you going
Arkansas.
with?
We're fucking Penn State.
I had a feeling you might say that.
It's going to be a rough game, but
I want to see if
it
you've
is
got
what it
the
is.
balls to make the biggest upset pick of all time this week.
we'll figure it out, man. Let's just get down to it here. We got a couple more games to
let's
go.
get there.
I don't even know what game you're talking about, because
Oh,
that's
you
not even
don't?
the big game of the week.
You don't
That's
know what
That's
game?
a kiddie game.
Wow.
Kid
The-
game. Kid game.
I thought it was Squid Game.
PlayStation Fiesta Bowl.
Wow.
Oklahoma State versus Notre Dame.
I'm going OK State.
Same here. Bye-bye, Notre Dame.
Yeah, a lot of players on Notre Dame are sitting out of this game too.
Yep.
Oklahoma State.
And their big top safety is one of the top recruits coming out of college football. They've got him prospected to go really high in the draft. I doubt he shows up to play that game, and he's their leader on defense.
They're losing some defensive linemen and offensive linemen too. Notre Dame is.
Wow.
But they don't want to play it. So
Speaking
whatever.
of offensive linemen from Notre Dame, Hainsey got a chance to get in this game with the Bucs this week. Played really fucking well. Shout out to that guy. Anyway, moving on.
I'll take OK State.
That's one of the few times we all agreed. Oh my goodness!
This is the nitty gritty.
How about this bowl? The Verbo?
VRBO.
Okay, Citrus Bowl. Iowa Hawkeyes versus the Kentucky Wildcats.
Give me the hot guys. Yeah, the hot guys have had a up and down season, but when they want to turn it on, and they typically do in bowl season, give me the hot guys.
Now, give me Kentucky. Let's go.
I'm going to go Iowa. It's a tough pick.
It really is. It really is, because we get two different Iowas.
Yeah.
Fuck Kurt Ferentz.
I'll take Iowa as well.
Yeah. They've just played tougher opponents this year than Kentucky.
The next bowl on the docket, the Rose Bowl, presented by Capital One Venture X. Utah.
The Venture X Plus.
The Utah Utes versus Ohio State.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I
A
mean,
lot of players from Ohio State aren't playing.
It's still Ohio
I
State.
get
Yeah,
that, but
it's still Ohio State.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you Ohio State right now. Give me Utah.
I love it.
Utah Giant Killers.
The Utah State.
No, Utah. The
Oh, okay.
Utah
The
Utes.
Utes.
The Utes. I said Utes.
Okay, that's not quite as stupid now. That I thought when you were picking Utah State.
Utah State did win their bowl game too, by the way.
I'm proud of them. But Ohio State is still Ohio State.
Utah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Utah's a good bowl team, man. It's not a
Rough and tough defense.
yeah.
And if you're missing players on either side of the ball, it's going to be hard.
I don't think so, but all right. I mean, they fly around. They have good communication when they want to. They've played against top-tier teams and won and lost, but Utah I don't consider a top-tier team.
Buckeyes.
What? How dare you besmirch Utah's good name, sir?
They can see me anytime.
I'm assuming you're thinking Ohio State too.
Oh, absolutely. I thought I already said that.
Actually, this is a kind of the game I'm really excited for. The All-State Sugar Bowl, Baylor, Ole Miss. I really think this is going to be a great game. Ole Miss is favored by 1.5. It's basically a pick 'em.
That is
Taking Baylor.
That is a rough one to do because Baylor has shown that they can stick around and play, but it's Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I'm going Ole Miss just because of Lane Kiffin.
And it's Matt Corral. And that defense and that whole team, the you want to talk about culture, Lane Kiffin is definitely bringing a culture to Ole Miss.
Just make sure you got your popcorn ready.
This is a really difficult on my heart pick to make, but I'll go with Ole Miss, even though Lane Kiffin is a D-bag.
I'm also going to pick that Lane Kiffin will be visibly hungover.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick that Ole Miss is going to get their shit kicked in by that Baylor defense.
That Baylor defense is no joke. Their offense
He won't be eating
no
no popcorn when he's missing teeth.
It's a good team, but here's what I want to say is, like, who have they seen that does the things that Ole Miss does?
Yeah. Who?
But what do they do? Is Matt Carroll even playing?
Matt Corral?
Whatever.
I haven't heard he's not.
Yeah,
I feel
me
like
either.
that's somebody that I follow.
He's another one that's going to the draft and is trying to put a final stamp because he's a short guy.
Well, he's not taking picks.
He's a short, mobile guy. I didn't say that, but he's going to the draft. So he's going to try to show these guys, I'm the next Doug Flutie, I'm the next Russell Wilson, I'm the next Lamar Jackson, these run and gun quarterbacks. It's not going to work out for him, but he's going to stick around and try to play his ass off.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for, the final 4 games, besides LSU, Kansas State, that actually matter.
Okay.
Anybody want to say something before we get into it?
In regard to what?
This games. These college football playoffs.
I'm very glad that the teams like Cincinnati are here.
Okay.
Because they are going to show the world one thing or the other. They are going to show the world that everybody who picks against them and picks the big schools is absolutely right, or they're going to show that the landscape in college football is changing, and you can still have stud teams at the lower level, and they deserve to get in. It's another big argument for expanded playoffs, but the only bad part about that is they're playing Alabama. Georgia, Michigan, you expect to see those two emblems in a playoff scenario. You expect to see them. They're big teams. It's going to be a big game. I personally don't want to see an all-SEC national championship again.
Well, you won't.
Okay. But either way, this is going to be interesting. I don't think anybody was particularly snubbed that we're going to be looking at this and going, I can't believe this team didn't make it. I think this is kind of played out the way it was supposed to. But at the end of the day, we're going to find some shit out on Friday.
Are you picking them to be a contrarian?
Before we get into this, before we get into this, is there anything like that you saw from the whole college football season that you're like, oh, this is a good takeaway? No way I would have seen this. Oh my gosh, this blindsided me. I'll tell you this: the Florida collapse and Dan Mullen being fired mid-season, in the beginning of the season, I didn't think they were great, but I didn't think that would be a dumpster fire like that.
When Anthony came in here and said it was going to be a 3-loss team, we
almost
crazy. Laughed him out of the building.
We did.
I tried to laugh us out, but it's fuck them Gators. They're going 0-12 next year, 0-10 next year.
Wow. And what's Florida State going to do?
Same.
At least 2-8.
Same Z's.
2-8. Good God.
And
they're playing in the toilet bowl together.
I mean, Jim Harbaugh winning against Ohio State, that's big too.
That was big.
Finally.
Yeah, it's still big. This is a big game.
A
lot of big games this year.
I never would have thought Michigan would have been in the playoffs.
No. I thought Ohio State was just going to trounce Michigan like they usually do and just walk on into the sunset.
Yeah. So what's your big thing that you got to say, Nello?
Let's get into this. Okay. College football semifinals. Number 1, Alabama versus number 4, Cincinnati.
Number 1 what?
Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Alabama.
Yeah. Wait, so Penn State, they're 4th in the playoffs?
Oh, no, it's Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is going to win this game.
Where did Pitt? Oh, shit. Wow. We got it. We got it out of Nello. A book it that Cincinnati is going to beat. I couldn't be any happier about this.
I feel like it cheapens the brand. Because that's a dumb bucket.
If anything is proven in history, Alabama has a difficult time against quarterbacks who can throw the ball. This kid at Cincinnati can throw the ball.
How do they?
Texas A&M beat you by throwing the ball.
How do they historically deal against defensive and offensive lines that are half their size?
Anytime you ever had problem, it was with a quarterback that could throw the ball.
I was gonna say,
if this kid can ball out and throw the ball like he has been, Bama's going to be in trouble. If they get a big lead early and they can hold it in the fourth quarter, they can win this game.
Look, it's no hate, but I seen the boys trying on their jerseys. They're all hyped, and bro,
I got hyped too when I saw that.
Like you see the Bama side trying on their jersey, and you're like, oh god.
And they don't even have any pads on.
The disparity in the size of these guys.
We'll see.
Like if this was a track meet and those boys are fast as hell, they may stand a chance.
I mean,
when
damn.
it comes down to it,
all you tell us with your buckets is that Seabiscuit's your favorite fucking movie of all time.
get pounded on, bro.
I don't disagree, and that's not a knock against Cincinnati.
Sorry, I just disagree.
You saw it happen with Georgia, who you were licking their pole all season long.
I agree. Georgia came out, didn't.
And then Georgia met some big old boys, and
We'll
it was
see.
a bit of a difference maker.
No, Georgia came out and did what Georgia's been doing all season.
Right. They got out punched in mouth, whatever you want to call it. I just
And you
like
think in your heart of
Cincinnati.
hearts that Cincinnati
I do.
is that much different than an undefeated Georgia.
They're not going to win the championship, but they
For
can
real.
win this game.
Hey, man, come on, for real. Look
They
at
need the
hold on.
perfect game. I'm not arguing with you.
Look at me. You really believe that?
I really do. I really believe this quarterback can
Yeah,
show.
you know, with your whole heart, you don't believe that shit. There's no way you believe that.
I've been saying this shit for. I've been saying this shit for 2 weeks.
You have been wanting a underdog team to win, and so you're picking them because you know if by the grace of God it happens, you look like a genius. But every fiber in your body's got to tell
Hey.
you.
Hey, listen, they said that
Hey.
about Boise State and Oklahoma, and Boise State came to play and balled.
Was
bro,
that a
it can
national?
happen.
Was that a national championship?
At that point, it wasn't, but it was still a top 4 bowl.
I'm wondering if this guy overheard some little kid in his restaurant, like,
I don't know.
fucking tell him that,
I
you
don't
know.
know. I've been watching some Cincinnati games and highlights even to make this
Okay.
pick. If
Okay,
that quarterback can ball and can get them to move the ball in that defense, they can win this game.
Why don't you name off some of these games that you rewatched to let us know what kind of competition?
Notre Dame. That's the only game I rewatched.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
No further questions, Your Honor.
That was the only
Yeah.
game that we needed to watch. That in Houston.
So you
This-
look
I
at
don't-
the
wow.
schedules, and it's it's obvious just
The
how
SEC
much,
is weak all year.
how much
Stop.
how much stronger of a schedule Alabama has, and they averaged 70 more yards a game, and they were basically had the same yards allowed on defense.
Exactly.
The
If
13.5 point spread for this game, I think, is extremely accurate, and Bama will cover that. This ain't good. This ain't Auburn.
The
This ain't
over-under
Auburn.
is
Nick
57
Saban-
and a half.
Nick Saban
They're
is
not
going to
thinking it's
be
going to go high.
doing some cocaine and getting crazy before this game. He is going to say, this game is more important than the national championship. We cannot lose to these motherfuckers. Go out there, step on their throat, shit in their mouth, and keep going. And I'm telling you, you're not going to get a Bama team that is underestimating Cincinnati.
If it's me and I'm Nick Saban, you just keep running up the goddamn score. They don't belong
They
here.
they are. I can assure you, they know the mismatches on defense.
You don't think that Cincinnati
And
has mismatches on their side of
They
the ball,
will destroy them in the air.
This is – go ahead.
Bryce Young is going to light them up.
Those two defenses aren't far apart. You said it yourself.
In total, no, I was making a point that Alabama still has better statistics and a much harder schedule. And if you're going to argue the harder schedule aspect, just go home.
I was going to say,
we're
other
done.
than- no, they
I'm
beat
not
Notre Dame.
saying you guys don't have the harder schedule, but it's not like the hardest schedule.
You're also saying that there's mismatches on Bama's defense versus the offense.
They've got to have matchups they like.
So
There's
everybody
no way.
does. Everybody does in every single game. They got matchups they like. You tell me on that squad, not the quarterback, who's got the best matchup, and then we'll look at their
Well,
equivalent
the quarterback
on
to
the
me
other
is
side
even.
of the.
Bryce Young is playing just as good as this kid is.
You're saying that the kid from Cincinnati is just as good as the Heisman Trophy winning SEC champion?
They're the best players on both offenses.
right, but one.
That's
is,
what I'm saying.
one of those things is not like
What's the
the other.
difference?
Okay.
And I'm going
I-
to say,
I'm
you
talking
in
about
trouble if
best
that's what
player
you're
on the
going to.
team.
I think you're missing the point of the Cincinnati's quarterback is all they have as far as studs go. That's it.
They don't have stud
They got a
offensive linemen.
corner.
They don't have.
Yeah. No.
Safety.
They
got
do
a
have a
corner
lights out
safety
corner,
who's
but
pretty
not
decent.
not
Right,
a line, not a defensive or offensive line.
But the trenches is all that matters here.
Okay, we'll see.
And then Will Anderson is going to have a hell of a game, multi-sack game. I'm telling you, Jamison Williams and Billingsley and
when
Latu.
Bama loses, what happens?
Our defense will get
Do
a
I have
touchdown.
to? Do I have to drive to wherever you live and make a wellness check in
No.
my Cincinnati Bearcats jersey? Is that cool?
No, we can accept losing.
Hold on.
Once you lose this game, you better hope you don't show up
I
next
hear
week.
there's
You
a prop
won't get
bet
it.
coming.
Is this bull? You guys are
coming.
just saying Bama this, Bama this, Bama this. Cincinnati has been the number 4 team in the country, undefeated. I don't care what you say.
And that's obvious. That's
took
obvious.
down the only team that was number 5 and Notre Dame, and there's no respect for this team at all.
Go back, look up so that you can follow along.
You know
what
they
I'm
say,
saying. Do me a favor and Google.
Even a blind squirrel will find the nut.
Google
right?
Alabama Michigan State playoff game.
We've also got a prop bet from your friend over here.
What's
Maybe
the prop
there's a
bet?
chance to get you out of this.
You're so
this
confident that Cincinnati is going to win.
See, this is the thing. All right, let's hear it.
What do you guys want to do?
Oh, so
'Cause
now when we put it up,
Cincinnati wins, I'll let him out of the Dallas bet.
Ooh,
But if he's willing to double down,
What's the
it's gonna
double
get
down?
crazy.
I don't know what's double down. That's the problem.
I don't know, because you already don't like a double down. We're like a quadruple.
If we're
bet
like
right
quadruple, like we're quadrupling
So,
down,
yeah.
that's fine, right?
We're Inception level right now.
Yeah.
We're on many
even know what's
layers
real.
in.
So we'll just
we are the
here's what
taco
we'll do.
inside the taco inside the Taco Bell inside
Right.
the KFC that's in a mall that's inside your dream.
Right, I understand.
It's next to a Long John Silver.
So instead of doing double or nothing, let's do single or nothing. So if Cincinnati does win, I'll still wear the Cowboys jersey instead of the
So what you're about to propose is not equal, but go ahead.
right. So you still have one up on me, but I need to know what happens if Cincinnati loses, because this is. I'm not saying yes to anything until I know what's up. You guys have like all show to figure it out, though. But Cincinnati's going to win, so it doesn't matter.
Part of me wants you to sit down with someone to talk to see if you're okay. Because, bro, the fact that you really think
I really think Cincinnati's
Bro,
going to
I'm sure there's half the Bearcats don't even think they're going to beat Alabama.
I know they don't,
And
but
they're
I
not
really think
nearly as
that if
confident
that
as you.
defense can hold it close and this quarterback can do what he's been doing all year, they can win the game. They have to keep it close.
That first time that offensive line walks up and they see 31 lining up on the other side and they see those big boys sitting up, lining up on the defensive line, they're going to go, we got this. And then after that first drive, they're going to go back to the coach and be like, we are in trouble.
I was going to say, man, you got like the Angels in the outfield thing going. You can see Angels
Yeah,
behind him or something.
Cincy's coaching staff is looking at Will Anderson and Evan Neal going, we don't have enough people.
Yeah.
And that's just those two guys.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming all you diehard Bama people are going Bama without even have to
For
ask
sure.
you.
It's not even being diehard Bama. This is knowing anything about college football.
Right.
Look up Alabama Michigan State playoff game. That's about how this game's going to go.
That was a disgusting game. That's also the one where Derrick Henry stiff-armed the soul out of a defensive lineman. So, yeah, I don't think you're going to see the same level of competition between Cincinnati and the University of Alabama.
You're talking about Derrick Henry, a freak specimen of nature.
Will Anderson.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here, man. Cincinnati has a shot. They're
wait.
win.
Are you saying right now that Will Anderson is not a freak of nature?
I haven't seen enough of him to call him that. I saw a
How
lot
about the
of
fact that he had more first-place votes than any of the finalists other than Bryce Young? Does that do anything for you?
Yeah, but he's also in Alabama, and those things are skewed. So skewed on both sides because there's people that
He was left out of the finalists because he was at Alabama, and they already had Bryce Young as a clear favorite. That's the only reason why he did not make it and did not get enough votes to be there. He had way better stats than old dude from Michigan, and yet he was a finalist.
He beat the kid from Michigan in every category.
every category.
I'm surprised that was the running back of Ohio State Michigan State the finalist because he should have been.
No, he wasn't. It was Bryce Young, Kenny Pickett, the kid from Michigan,
Hutchins.
and then not Olave, the quarterback, JT for Ohio State. Stroud. So Stroud,
CJ
Henderson.
There's 3 QBs and the Hutchins guy.
I mean,
look,
he's a
man,
finalist. It's saying a
Will
lot.
Anderson's a beast. He's
Yeah.
a freak of nature. He is. Evan Neal is as well, man. Evan Neal is a giant man that can move pretty dead gum fast.
I wish I knew what sound a Bearcat made so I could do it, but I don't know what the fuck a Bearcat
Now
sounds
Jameson
like.
Williams. Also, don't forget the Bearcats.
Bearcats are
They're
gonna make.
named after a city.
Who cares?
How often do they win?
Oh my gosh, hey guys! I hope that when we talk about this next game, Brett comes back from the dead.
Comes out of hiding.
Like what happened? Get hit by a sniper? Did he die?
He
witness
was
protection.
He
What's going
was
on?
putting on extra mustard on everyone's hot dog.
I mean, he was going out of his way.
He really was, and he was
And we love you for it.
very confident. And you know what, buddy? We appreciate you. We're just worried because you've been quiet lately.
Very quiet.
And we want to see what's happening. We want to make sure that you're okay. Because if you're not okay, we're not okay.
The better of the two games, Georgia versus Michigan.
No conversation there. It is the better of the two games.
Well, of course, because
For
Cincinnati's going to stomp all over Alabama and win by like 20 points. We get it. So back to Georgia, Michigan.
I'm really leaning towards getting him professional help.
I'm picking Georgia.
Georgia.
I wouldn't be surprised if they blow them out. I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan wins. You don't know.
This is the better of the two games, and I think the same thing could happen to Georgia. Again, they could have a hangover from the last loss and go one of two ways. They could dominate, or they could underestimate Michigan and think that they've already won like they did with Alabama.
I agree with that.
And it is just, I want to pick Michigan. I want to, but I can't. I don't think Kirby Smart is going to allow that team to make that same mistake. I'll pick Georgia and be happy if I lose.
The reason why I won't be surprised if Michigan wins is with all the time that they have to prep for this, I'm going to give favor to Harbaugh for prepping and getting players ready for big games because he's been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so with this much time and this much ability to just plan for one team, I'm going to give him the edge over Kirby. Kirby's a great coach. We all know I know that. He's freaking amazing. Look at what he's done. But, and yes, he's been in this position before multiple times. So it's not like anything new to him. I would just give the edge to Harbaugh on that. But at the end of the day, I got to go with
Smart's been in a lot of really impactful, really, really meaningful games. He just hasn't been able to win them.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been able to go that extra mile. It's like we get here and then it's like, well, what do we do now?
I mean, and the same thing can be said for Jim Harbaugh. Like, he's
finally
finally won Ohio State. He's lost a lot of big games. I watched the Michigan State game where they lost on a punt that should have never happened. So I'm taking Georgia, and I honestly think Georgia's going to beat the hell out of them too, just to make a statement because they want to get back to Alabama.
This is the year that the SEC bends the knee and is out of the national title. This is the year it happens.
So you're calling Bearcats and
Michigan.
So you're thinking it's going to be a Bearcats Michigan.
I have a better chance of being right at this game. I have a better chance of being right at this game than I do Bama. Bama,
you're absolutely true.
Right?
Oh shit.
I'll take if I had I think Michigan wins and it wins big because I don't think Georgia's going to be able to move the ball on that defense. They're going to have to run the ball, and if I'm Harbaugh, I'm stopping the run and I'm telling that kid to beat me.
Do me a favor. Start talking shit in about midway through the second quarter because that's where they're going to need to be winning for that to be an accurate statement. Because if Georgia goes up, you're not going to catch them. They're going to run that clock down. They're going to run that game into the ground, and that is how they win, slowly, painfully, clock manipulation. If Michigan goes up early, which they've been doing,
that's what they do.
They do against Ohio State. If they go up early and they are forcing that walk-on quarterback to throw the ball, you're damn right. Michigan's in the game.
McNamara needs to come out and needs to play because Georgia's going to be stopping the run. That's what they're going to have to do. Michigan is a great running team. They set up their offense by running the ball. McNamara needs to come out and ball out. I have more faith in McNamara than I do this kid in Georgia, just from what they showed when he had to throw the ball.
I think it's big time about short completions and getting those early first downs for Michigan. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the first time they get the ball, maybe even through the first quarter, that they go full tempo. No huddle, run up to the line, hike the ball, and go. Because that is how you beat big-time run-stopping defenses like Georgia. They've got those big elephants out there on defense. Make them run. Make them continue to play fast-paced defense.
And that Michigan offensive line ain't no joke either.
Right, and that's how I'm saying. That's how they could break Georgia and beat them. The thing is, which Georgia are they going to get? That's a big question.
I just don't think Georgia can score enough points to play with Michigan.
McNamara is going to need to be able to make his first or second read and not make a bad decision.
So you say it's the trenches.
And he's going to need to be able to use his feet, not to run, but to extend plays, to make Georgia cover longer, to make some harder throws. And I think he's the better quarterback too. So Michigan has a formula that can win. It's all in how they handle Georgia. If they try to match muscle for muscle, Georgia's going to fucking destroy them.
Like, the thing that I'm saying is the offensive line for Michigan has to hold that defensive line down so that they don't get pressure, so that they have to blitz corners, safeties, and linebackers, and then take advantage of those man-to-man matchups.
Yeah.
And
I don't disagree.
That's where it is. So it is trenches then.
For sure.
Even
It's
more important than the quarterbacks, which I think Michigan has a great advantage in.
Trenches. I think both of these teams are going to rely on their defensive line.
Oh, yeah.
To control that, and who knows? I think that fast pace, if they're conditioned and they can execute a no huddle offense, that you can beat Georgia with that.
Yeah, but Georgia's got guys that all get after it. Michigan's really got that one guy who's a stud for him.
They have two top 15 defensive linemen in next year's draft, in Hutchins and Ojagba.
Ajagba plays for Ohio State.
Another one of those guys. He was supposed to be a defensive end for the Eagles.
One of the kids from Nigeria.
Yeah.
I just still can't get over how big Georgia's O-line and D-line guys looked against ours. And I just, if I'm a Michigan player, that's going to bother me.
I would be very disappointed if it's an all-SEC final.
I would be too. Yeah. Even though I'm picking it the way that I see it, I would be too.
I'd rather play Michigan.
Yeah, me too.
For sure. Any day of the week.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right.
I would much rather see a Michigan team than a rebounding
For sure.
Georgia.
Because you've already shown Georgia everything.
Well, partially because it's never happened in the history of college football where there's been a same year sweep. It just doesn't happen.
Well, it won't happen when Cincinnati beats Bama. This is all hypothetical.
LSU beat us in Bryant-Denny, and then we beat them, blanked them in the national championship. Yeah. Same thing with Georgia when we beat them in the national championship. We beat them in the SEC. Or no, we played Florida that year, and then we beat them in the national championship. And then the next year, even when you go year after year, it's not often that's why they talk about in these rivalry games, when you have a long stretch of wins by one team, it's just really hard to do. That's why, you say we won 6 years in a row. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard to be the same team. You've got the tape on them. You're looking at them. When we beat Georgia the way we did because Bryce Young started running the ball. Okay, so now they see that. Now they're going to have a plan for that. And now we're going to have a struggle. I would rather play Michigan.
Me too.
And just because I like the matchup as well. I like our guys against there.
Georgia has a better chance of coming back and beating us than a fresh Michigan team has a chance of beating us straight up.
I didn't know Bill O'Brien was on COVID leave and just came back.
Yeah, he had to isolate.
Yeah.
So there could be some sort of outbreak on there too.
No.
I don't know about that. All right, so you've got your two picks. You've got Bearcats, Michigan.
Cincinnati.
You've got Bama, Georgia. You've got Bama, Georgia. I've got Bama, Georgia. So you are on a lonely island, my friend.
It's okay. I like this. I
know you do. I know you do.
Yeah, part of me, at one point, I almost thought it would be Michigan that would actually be playing them.
For sure.
But the more I think about it, I just don't see it happening.
Those kids from Georgia are going to be...
This Michigan game is going to be the best game of the two because Cincinnati is going to roll over Alabama, but that's besides the point. Right. Overall, Michigan...
Don't really believe that.
You nailed that joke both times.
Listen, I just want to say that it's true.
Let's take our next break for the day. We're going to get into fantasy football. Excuse me.
What?
Recaps from last week.
Fantasy football?
Yeah.
Championship round, baby.
One thing you're good at.
Oh.
And we're back. The Lightning game is on in the background, taking on the Montreal Canadiens.
I think that hit the post.
And the Lightning are about to have a shorthanded goal. Never mind. Okay, so NFL, pro. Let's talk about a little fantasy football, though.
Look, guys, the fantasy football finals are in.
Let's talk about it.
And it's yours truly,
Nello,
making it through.
Against Mr. Crowning
Shield. Mr. Crowning Shield. Camillo couldn't get it done. And I understand there was a little controversy about moving the player and all this crap, but once the player starts, I can't move him anywhere.
Oh, yeah. If their game has started, yeah.
And if I moved him to the bench, right, then him and Crowning Shield tied, those 31 points on the bench would be the determining factor between Camilo or him going
you
through.
can't put in a player after his game has started. You
Yeah.
can't put him into the lineup.
That's what I was trying to say. And everyone's
Anyway.
like, you can do that. You can do that. No. But let's talk about this final fireworks, big scoring games me and this kid have been having.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about it. He's got a really strong team, and he's got hey, if you want Devontae Smith back, Brian, you let me know.
We can't have him back.
I'm out.
This is insider trading bullshit that shouldn't be allowed.
Collusion.
Yeah, I'm out. I got beat by your buddy, John, who had a wide receiver put up 43 points. Why does that happen to me? I'm always playing that guy.
Who do you have? Tyreek Hill?
No, it wasn't Tyreek. It wasn't even for the Chiefs.
T. Higgins.
Yeah, T. Higgins.
Oh, yeah. Higgins went off, too. That's
I
right.
mean, I was feeling strong coming into this one. And my boys, they played out for me, but wasn't enough. I'm done.
So I won 144 to 101. And
Not
Crowning
bad.
Shield won 149 to 93.
Ooh.
And
Awful.
both my starting running backs are banged up. Miles Sanders is out for the game, broken hand, and James Robinson tore his Achilles.
Wow.
So got to go on that waiver wire. But I got the best receiver core in the league. Jefferson, Andrews, Devontae Adams,
I also
and
had
Pittman.
the best wide receiver core in the league, and my buddy Mike Evans had to go out with a hamstring this week. My bell cow.
Holy shit, breaking news. John Madden died.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
actually got that text a little while ago. That's insane. Football legend, but he was an older guy. You know what I mean? He's definitely contributed to the game. He will never be forgotten either.
Imagine the timing. They're putting that special is either just come out or is about to come out. I got to look that up because I got to make sure to watch that.
Yeah.
About him, All Madden or whatever it's called.
I mean,
and now he's died.
his name will forever be tied to the best football game.
No, the only football game, not the best. It's the
Yeah.
only.
It's also tied to just football greatness. He's in the Hall of Fame already. So, anyway, that's.
I mean, the All Madden team was a thing before the game. Mm-hmm. That was always been a thing. If you were All Madden, that was a very big point of pride that
And
players
don't forget the turducken.
players took that very serious. Yeah, and then the whole turducken thing.
I mean, it was a big thing to be on the All Madden team, and just players did play for that. That was almost like the Pro Bowl for them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Being on the All Madden team, that was something they all talked about. But there's no. This happened recently with Road Warrior, or not Road Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior in WWE. They did this big thing where they brought him back. They inducted him into the Hall of Fame. They made a huge documentary about him, and literally less than a month after that, he died. They knew something was going on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the NFL has known that something was going on with Madden for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, any
Yeah,
other
you gotta
fantasy
think they
football
talk
stuff
about
we want to?
All I'm saying is you traded Devontae Smith away, tried to say all this crap, and I'm telling you right now, Mr. Crowning Shield, you're going down big time.
Wow, that was quite threatening.
I'm kicking ass. and
Strong
taking
words
names.
from a strong man, Captain
Cigar
Insano.
City Sports Podcast fantasy football fucking champion in the house.
Oh boy,
I'm taking it for the team. We're gonna win.
you're taking it for the team, huh?
Yep.
Love
I'm winning for us.
So let's talk about last week, huh? Where do we want to start? You want to just go through the review of
abysmal
last
I
week?
didn't
You want to go
miss.
through the games?
Yeah. Let's go through last week's games, talk about picks. I thought I was doing atrocious, and that when you sent me the actual list, I didn't do too bad.
Nope. Thursday night, Niners, Titans.
I did bad here.
No good for you. Or
Yeah.
Clay.
Yep.
AB and I were the only two.
That took on
Good
his
Titan.
spreadsheet that took the tits.
Yeah.
Wow.
He just put tit.
I would have taken the Titans had I known AJ Brown was playing. I didn't know he was playing.
And what a game
But
he
you
had.
didn't. You took 49ers,
I
yeah.
took the 49ers, yeah.
Next game on Christmas, Browns, Packers.
This was a dominating performance by the Packers.
Yep, and I was the only dumbass that took the Browns.
This is what you get with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, it seems like, even on his when he's had some down games, he freaking shows up at the end of the season in the playoffs, until that one game, but he's playing.
I mean,
in
the
true
Browns
form.
only lost by 2. It was 22-24. I wouldn't say like complete domination.
That
but-
ended in the end of the game. The Packers had that game well in hand at all times.
Yeah, for sure.
And it wasn't like they were driving for the win. So I don't give them the credit on that.
It was
one.
a very, very good game for Aaron Rodgers. I watched. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Dude,
Yeah.
the best game of the week, Colts Cards, if you ask me.
And I think we all took the Colts.
AB and Clay both took the Cards.
I just was so shocked that the Colts were able to just walk it. Like I said, if they do these things, they're going to win, and they did it, man. That was just beautiful game. Carson Wentz looking good. Jonathan Taylor looking like a all-pro. I know you're pissed, but they are already comparing Jonathan Taylor to AP's All-Star year.
Come on. They're going to give him
lightning goal.
They're going to give him the MVP this year, even though Derrick Henry, as per stated on the other side.
Completely agree, too. Completely agree with that.
I love when they answer fast.
Yeah.
I love that.
Next
The Bolts
game.
have gone 1-1.
Next game there, Ryan.
Yep.
What happened?
What
happened with the
only
Giants?
guy who picked against us?
What happened with the Giants?
Oh, I don't know. I just picked the
The
Giants.
New York
today.
shit Giants. By the way, did you guys see that twinkle toes catch by fucking Devontae for the touchdown?
We've seen all those catches from Devontae so many times
They
over.
look so much better now.
I don't disagree. I love seeing him successful as a pro, bringing some light to an otherwise abysmal team.
Eagles control their own destiny. If we win next week, we're
They
gonna
do.
make the
They do.
playoffs.
Now, are you happy that this is kind of? I'm legitimately not trying to throw shade, but you guys have had an easier schedule these last couple weeks.
Well, we have one of the easiest. Yeah,
And you are skating into an easy back half of the season.
I don't
Or
know. We
last-
still have Dallas
Okay, so you have Washington
and then Dallas. But I think Dallas is going to start resting players.
That's what I was going to say. You might luck out with that. So, do you think that the Eagles then go into the playoffs and realistically, do they get spanked because they've played lesser opponents if they run into somebody with a tougher
First of
schedule?
all, we're not getting spanked.
Okay.
Our defense.
I
is,
knew he couldn't.
Our defense is one of the
Possibly.
top defenses in the league in the second half of the season. These last 8 games, they've been on fire.
Okay,
Okay, so we're not getting spanked anywhere, and we
Sure.
can run the ball
sure.
as long as
I mean,
long as
when you're playing
Sirianni
trash
keeps running
teams,
the
yeah,
ball.
you look good.
Okay, as long as Sirianni keeps running the ball and he can rack up those yards, we'll be fine.
Okay.
Will we win the Super Bowl? No, but we could win a wild card game.
Hey, any playoff wins are good.
Give me the fucking Bucks.
Oh man,
Give me the Bucks.
you want Tampa Bay.
Got to beat the champion to be one.
So you guys had a decent game against a team that's pretty banged up, but that was a good win. You guys dominated everything you
Start to
were supposed
finish.
to. Yeah, you.
I mean,
really
it wasn't really a game. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Jake Fromm and like long neck, the original long neck quarterback, Mike Lennon.
It was a game for like the first quarter.
Right.
No, I mean, that defense was playing good, and Sirianni wanted to force the ball with Hurts, but at the end of the day, once they started clicking.
Yeah, that was good. The Bucs game. The Bucs did exactly what they were supposed to do. They shut it down in all facets of the game. No touchdowns, field goals only.
I mean, what was the point? I mean,
I'm really.
did you see the quarterback play from both Darnold and Newton? It was atrocious.
But it made me happy to know that when those opportunities were given to our defense, we were able to capitalize on them and make them happen.
They're talking about sitting Brady this week, maybe.
That I don't see. I don't see us sitting Tom Brady unless Tom Brady wants to be sat. You may see a half out of him, but let me tell you something. That will all depend on if number 13 is in the game. Because if Mike Evans, who is now on the COVID list, even though he's fully vaccinated,
Oh, no.
all he has to do is have 2 positive tests in 24 hours
Negative.
and show negative tests in 24 hours and show no symptoms.
2 negative tests 24 hours apart.
Very doable that he is going to be on the field
For sure.
on Sunday.
Do you think these guys like taking a test? Oh, it's negative. 2 hours later, take it again. It's negative.
So
Like,
he corrected me. It's more than 24 hours apart.
That's the
So
key.
You take it at 5:00 one day, you have to take it 5:01 the next day.
So that's a problem. Like that causes issue, because if you can't get that first negative test until Saturday,
yeah,
you don't know if you're playing, and the team doesn't know until Sunday. When
Sunday
you take
morning.
that test Sunday
Yep.
morning. So
So
it's interesting.
now, if Mike Evans is in the game, you will see number 12 playing quarterback because it's important to him that his guy gets those 101 yards. It's just it's bound to happen, and it's more likely to see Brady sit against the rematch against the Panthers than it is to see against the Jets. But yeah, the Lightning are rolling.
this
now.
guy took the Panthers,
Yeah. Cam Newton let me down.
yeah.
letting the world down.
Jordan Whitehead there's something to be said for the game that guy had. I don't know if you guys watched it at all, but he was flying.
Yeah.
He was hitting Cam Newton. He had the only pick of the game. He, to me, was almost as good as that young man out of LSU.
Joey
Grayson.
Oh,
No. The Bucs have a wide receiver number 16. I forget. I think it's Cyril Grayson, who had a 62-yard catch from Brady. And he's also the one who sprung Keyshawn Vaughn for his big 54-yard run.
that's a big touchdown for that kid because they were decimating him in the media when
Prior.
during the Saints game.
Yep. Dropping balls.
Yeah, it just looked like shit.
Not playing well at all. But he did have a better game this game, but that run doesn't happen. He doesn't get into the end zone without Cyril Grayson, who's on the opposite side of the field, running all the way over, picking up the block, and stopping two guys to get our guy in the end zone. That's a heart play right there. And we all said, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson didn't get a catch. Cyril Grayson had almost 100 yards from scrimmage. So clearly, talent isn't always a big thing for Bruce Arians. It's what you do on the field. Speaking of Bruce Arians, he's in COVID protocol as of today.
But he's vaccinated. Yeah, right.
They're all vaccinated. The whole team is.
Let's get off this COVID shit. I'm over it, man.
But
Lions, Falcons.
But I'm just saying that if the Bucs have to come into this next game without Arians, we're probably okay.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Next game, Lions, Falcons.
I picked the Lions.
Yeah, bro. It's a split crowd.
They fooled me again. I thought Detroit was going to grow off of the momentum of beating the quotation marks best team in the NFC, and they handled their business.
The next game, what a game, by the way. Ravens, Bengals. The Bengals just destroyed the Ravens in all facets of the game.
And now the severe beating.
Right, but you can't fault them. The damn defensive coordinator came out and said, "Let's not give Joe Burrow a gold jacket just yet."
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What the hell are you doing?
Why do you do that?
Why? It's so stupid.
And when he's thrown for almost 1,000 yards by himself against your team.
545 and 5 touchdowns.
And the first one was 400 something.
Yeah.
So he almost got 1,000.
And
Like 525.
Joe Johnson started for the Ravens. You don't even have your starting guys. What?
Huntley went down to COVID.
Yeah.
Another guy that went down to COVID, also Carson Wentz. That could affect the Colts in a major way going forward.
Sam Eininger is the starter this week.
Yeah.
Because he's Carson Wentz is unvaccinated. He's going to have to wait 10 days and then get tested again.
Love it. Gotta love it.
The next game, Rams, Vikings. It's fine. Rams, Vikings. The Minnesota shit Vikings. Thank God for losing. Thank you, Jalen Ramsey and company, for beating the Vikings and letting us control our own destiny and making the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, Carson Wentz has been the most consistent quarterback for you guys, even once he left. I mean, he was there. He played really, really well, played enough snaps, and he got you your first round
What's Carson
pick.
Wentz got to do with the Rams versus the Vikings? Like, seriously. Carson Wentz. Thank you, Carson, for giving us a first rounder. See ya.
That's what you were just talking about. So I figured I'd let you know your hometown heroes playing in another hometown.
The Rams should have beat them worse.
I agree. It's always the Vikings. They're so pesky. They're in every game, but yet they can never just win.
Y'all forget they got Patrick Peterson playing corner for them, too.
They do.
He is not somebody to be slept on.
He's
in his
not.
age.
That Rams offense should be better than it is. It's
I-
still
Stafford.
good.
Clearly,
I'm not saying anything bad.
You're
but-
not telling me anything. I picked the freaking Vikings to win.
Yeah, you've got Cooper Kupp making history this season.
Yeah.
And then Stafford doing what Stafford should be doing.
You know, the way Stafford looks doesn't look like maybe Detroit was just a problem in Detroit.
Yeah.
What did Cup do to make history?
Be the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, he's on his way.
He's on his way to breaking some significant people's records.
Yeah.
You watch their games, they bring it up every time. And with that catch,
Yeah, it's receptions, yardage. I don't know if he's on pace for touchdowns.
he's on pace for receptions 100%.
But receptions and yards. I mean, the guy's
I don't know how he's still having this kind of success. Was he open this often with Jared Goff?
He just doesn't
He
drop
was catching balls with Jared Goff, too.
He's an over-the-middle guy. off a lot, runs a lot of inside slants.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't drop the ball.
I think he has a lot of option routes depending on what he sees the coverage being, where he's allowed to run in space and run in the zones.
Did you see the little double move that Hunter Renfrow came up, has started?
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp copied it. He's like, that looks really good. I think it's just he runs extremely clean routes.
Yeah.
And he can dissect the defense before he even sees it.
And
that is the big one, and that's
crazy.
what I was going to bring up, is that video of them asking him about a big play. I forget what the game was. And he's like, yeah, and he proceeds to break down not only his play, but the defense's coverage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
He
I saw the
remembers.
safety come down to the fire zone, and the fire zone was open, and so I went in there. It was like, I'm like, wow. She
Yeah.
just wanted to know what you saw, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. He went way over her head. But
Yeah, he did.
he's definitely a high IQ football player for sure.
for sure. Are y'all watching that Man in the Arena, the Tom Brady thing?
Did they go to the Eagles Super Bowl yet?
So it's really good. Yeah, they've already touched on that. So
All right,
it's
I'll be watching that
or
episode.
no. They've touched on the Giants.
Oh, I'm not watching it yet.
So it's just funny. It's interesting when you listen to these guys talk. Like this last episode, Vince Wilfork was on there, and he was just a monster. I mean, he was very integral in their historic
Vince?
defenses.
That dude anchored a whole
And
D-line.
He walked everybody through how Belichick would make them learn offenses and formations. And he's like, I don't care that you are a defensive lineman. If you can't look at how they're lined up and not know what you need to do a little better or pick up that information, you're not going to be as good as you could be.
Yeah.
And now it makes sense when you hear Brady talk and you hear guys like Cooper Kupp and all these other guys that dissect the game so hard. Look at how granular they are breaking down learning football. It's not just memorizing the playbook and not fucking up your routes or whatever.
Right. It's not just recognizing man and zone.
Yeah, it is. Okay, this guy's lined up. Like Brady walks through this thing with Wes Welker, and he's like, I noticed they lined up a little outside of him. He knew that too, so he cut it inside, and it was not a bad throw, but I had to keep the safety off of him, and he just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And Wes Welker doesn't drop balls. Cooper Kupp doesn't either, and they dissect the game like that. And I mean, I think the Rams should have blown the Vikings out.
Speaking of Rams, Cam Akers could come back after 5 months from an Achilles injury. That's pretty impressive.
It's always good.
That's pretty impressive for an
Getting
Achilles
somebody
injury.
like him.
5 months.
That's very impressive.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've had an Achilles tendon.
Hopefully
injury. I know.
it's they're not rushing him to get him there, but we'll see.
How about this game? So we gave all right. It's time to eat the crow, Nello. So eat it. Okay. I gave McDermott a ton of shit when he talks shit about Bill Belichick.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to eat my words and say, good job, Sean. The Bills, Patriots, and the severe beating of the New England Patriots offense.
It sure was. And I thought their defense was going to make a much bigger impact. Josh
Who
Allen,
did I
that
take
dude
that
is
game?
so mobile.
You were the only one that took – no. We all took the Pats except for AB and Clay.
Yeah. So I thought that the defense was going to show up, and playing in Foxborough is a very tough place to win a football game. Josh Allen, man, he was just the difference maker.
Yeah.
The Bills, in my opinion, should be a one-loss team right now.
Okay.
They have just let themselves down. They got all the talent.
They've gotten in their own way.
They have beat themselves, and I will pick the Bills for the rest of the season.
The next exciting game, Jags Jets. What a game, guys. Did you watch? I watched the whole thing.
Did you really?
No.
you didn't.
No, I didn't watch any of that shit.
I'm like, that's what you chose to have on?
I watched the few highlights on Red Zone. The Jets won. The Jags looked pitiful. It was a bad injury for James Robinson, the only player on the Jags worth having in fantasy football.
I mean, you don't pick the Jets. You pick against the Jaguars, right?
I mean, it was battle of first and second.
That was the argument we had in here. Was it's not so much that it's the Jags, it's it's not so much the Jets, it's the Jags.
Who was it? What was the other game with them? And who was it that we were talking about? Kind of the same thing. It's
Texans.
Like, Texans.
Yeah,
That's right.
And the Texans ate them up.
Speaking of Texans, whoa! Hello.
Nobody picked this game.
Chargers, Texans in Texas, and the Texans. David Mills is having himself a very good year with nobody to help him.
Yeah, he sure is. Davis Mills is trying to get a job.
And he's doing a damn good job.
Yeah, they're saying a lot of good things about him and the way that he's been able to pick up that offense and throw less interceptions.
How like I could never have imagined the Chargers going to Texas and losing.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see
I'd
it.
have never picked that.
I couldn't see it.
Anybody that says they picked that as a lifetime Texans fan,
Yeah.
or somebody with inside knowledge.
Or Nello.
The Chicago Bears, led by yours truly, Big Dick Nick, versus the Seattle Seahawks.
So a game nobody gave a shit about. We all picked the Seahawks.
We all
How do you
did.
pick the Bears?
How do you pick the Bears?
Right? I didn't know Nick Foles was starting. I would have picked the Bears had I known Nick Foles was
Oh,
gonna be the starter.
so Big Dick Nick stuck it in you too, huh?
Hey, listen. He will ever be immortalized in a bronze statue outside of the link.
Okay.
Super Bowl champion
Sure.
and MVP.
That's
Hey.
great. It's great. Proud of him.
And his name rhymes with goals.
The Pittsburgh Soft Steelers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. My goodness, what a terrible game.
If they don't keep Big Ben upright and 90's not in the game, you can count the Steelers out.
The Steelers offensive line coach is leaving for Oregon, by the way, immediately. Left after that game and is taking that position in Oregon.
Yeah, get out of there, buddy.
Let's talk about a turnaround, shall we? Mm-hmm. The Chiefs are back to who they were.
That defense, one trade. Can you say one trade? What was the guy they traded from Pittsburgh? What's his name? Ingram?
Yeah, Evan Ingram.
God, they get Evan Ingram and boom.
Yeah, it was not just that, but I mean, Ingram playing against the team that he went to in free agency that wouldn't start him, and gets a revenge game on him there. They got a lot of things they need to improve on in Pittsburgh.
Is Mike Tomlin's seat hot?
Fuck no, it is so fucking cold.
I got to be honest with you. You shore up that offensive line, and I don't see why the Steelers would have any problem being in a playoff scenario.
I
don't know how else to say it. Their defense is good. Big Ben's great. It's just the offensive line. I mean, I feel like they would be a pretty damn good team right now if it wasn't for that one real weakness.
Can you also tell me, before these last 2 weeks, when the Steelers have been playing well, out of the last 10 seasons, when was there a losing season for Mike Tomlin?
I mean, this year could spell losing.
Could be. They are fighting to have a losing season, and that would mean ever since
He hasn't.
Big Ben has started for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's had a winning season. He's the only guy to do what he's about to do if they can win one. So no, Mike Tomlin knows how to develop teams. He has an eye for talent, and he's already brought a championship.
Defensive talent, I agree, but what's up with that offense?
We got Le'Veon Bell.
Who's Chase Claypool to you?
Yeah.
I mean, they have such. I'm telling you, if
Juju.
they had a dependable O-line, this would be a totally different team.
That's why I was saying a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the draft, and you guys were telling me the quarterback or whatever. No, they need an offensive line.
They need a quarterback too. Big Ben's retiring.
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
And he's poor guy. He's been banged up.
I talked to my uncle who's a diehard Steelers family. That's exactly what he wants too. He's like, I want line all day.
But you can get a serviceable tackle in the second round. And they're going to be picking that.
And you can take
10,
your
12.
pick of backup quarterbacks in the league too.
And I agree with that. I think I've said that kind of stuff before, and that's why I think Tomlin's going to be fine. I think that front office, if they do it smart in the draft and pick and do something with that O-line, or even in the offseason and picking somebody up, that turns this team around.
Yeah.
I mean, Chiefs, they're going to be a tough team.
Chiefs are Andy Reid's being Andy Reid.
Number one in the AFC to from last to first.
I'm glad they're back, because picking first half full game and second half overs for them usually win and offset my stupid bets that I do. I'm like, let's see if this happens, and just flush money down.
Care to share this week's bad one? I mean, I'm going to let you know.
This past week or this upcoming?
Whichever, the one you told me.
We'll do
about,
the upcoming
if you
next.
want
Yeah. The Miami game was bad idea.
Yeah, so the Broncos Raiders, what a great game.
I picked the Raiders.
I took the Broncos.
Was I the only one on the Raiders?
I was the only one that took the Broncos.
Yeah.
I had one coming up that I was the only one on.
It shouldn't have been that close.
it's
honestly,
coming. Calm down.
The Raiders should have won by a
Jeez
couple
Louise,
scores.
act like you've been there before. Goodness.
I have been there before. This is my motherfucking seat.
The Cowgirls beat the Deadskins to a pulp. Like,
Yeah.
there's not really much to say. The Cowboys are clicking on all aspects. The Redskins
football
are
team
fighting themselves.
brought their own benches.
They did.
to get whooped over.
Right.
And fought on their own benches.
I want to give a shout out to the Miami Dolphins. Everybody needs to high five a Dolphin after beating the Saints last week. By the way, you're the only one who took them. Congrats.
7-0. The Uncle Mo came into town with Miami, and you know who else came to town with Miami? Jalen fucking Waddle, who is about to be your reigning rookie receptions
be.
leader of all time, passing Anquan Bolden. He's got 2 weeks. He's got 94 catches. The record's 101. You mean to tell me
break that.
Waddle won't catch the ball 7 times?
I mean, I think he's gonna.
Yeah,
He might get that in the game.
It's a done deal.
The only team to lose 7 games in a row and win 7 games in a row.
that too.
Good
I
for
read that
Miami.
today. Yeah.
And Tua looks
hear it.
okay.
Let's hear it for Miami. Good job, guys.
Give a Dolphin a high five and tell him it's from Nello.
I just don't get it because Tua's not that guy.
He's turned into that guy.
But I know
He's doing the best
I
he
still
can.
don't want to believe.
He's
it.
had more time with his guys now, so maybe that timing is just what's changed.
Hey, how about that Notre Dame quarterback,
What?
Ian Book?
What about him?
Exactly.
He had a pretty rough day, didn't he?
Very rough.
Yeah.
Did he start for the Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. I
Could have
thought,
told you that.
I still, even with that, I'm like, the Saints, they can't lose Miami. But I'm still not sold on Miami. I just see it coming to an end. I can't believe
I do
they're on
too.
this
I think
run.
they run into somebody, but we'll see. I'm going to keep riding that Miami train.
I'm not gonna lie, these Jalen Waddle stats aren't that great.
What?
Nothing impressive.
What the hell are you talking about? No. We're not moving on it.
100-yard game.
Who cares?
He's got a lot of.
You can get
catches.
you get clutch.
He's literally got one game with 12 catches for 58.
You don't
yards.
need 12 catches to win a game. You need 5 clutch catches to get a first down or a touchdown.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to
he's
you.
not your
Do you
deep
consider
guy.
Mike Evans to be an elite receiver? Because he's only had 1 or
Is-
2 100-yard
yeah.
games this season.
Is Devontae Parker still at Miami?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's their deep ball guy. Waddle's playing his position to perfection.
And
to mention
doing
12,
it is so
12
good.
in those 58 yards could be first downs every catch, which makes him the most valuable player with them 58 yards. That's just the kind of game he plays.
Yeah,
Before
he
we
doesn't
get-
drop many.
Before we get into next week, Jags asking the Cowboys and the Bucs to talk to both coordinators, offensive and defensive, for both teams.
Oh, yeah. They're asking to talk to Byron Leftwich. We
Yeah.
talked about this
And
last
Bowles.
week.
I think he's
And
going.
the kid out of Dallas too, that young offensive coordinator, and Dan Quinn, both teams.
They're
all 4.
talking to Dan Quinn and Byron Leftwich is what I've seen. I haven't
No, it's
seen.
all 4 because they want Bowles, they want Leftwich, they want Dan Quinn, and they want, is it Rush? I don't know if that's, I don't remember
No.
the guy's name.
I don't either, but he
Kellen
used to
Moore,
be the,
Kellen Moore.
used to be the quarterback for Boise State.
Pride
guy-
of the Mountain West.
That guy was not that great in the pros. In college, he was great. They were talking about him for the Heisman.
He had a
I
few
think
starts in Dallas.
He was your guy, the Statue of Liberty play. I think that was him.
Maybe
And then Kellen Moore goes to the pros. Did he play with Doug Martin?
he played. I don't think that was him though.
He's a coaching genius.
He is that's what I was going to say.
He
He may not be
did.
a great player, but he could fucking
He did
coach.
start a few games for the Cowboys though.
Yeah, he did.
He is a mastermind.
Yeah.
Very good.
But I don't see how the Jags don't take Leftwich. I just
Sure.
don't see how.
I wouldn't
agree.
wish that on him though. I really wouldn't.
It's if Leftwich is hearing conversations in Tampa of, hey, when Arians is gone, this is your team.
Yeah, I would take that over going to Jacksonville.
So would I.
Sorry.
for
The
sure.
core
hands
here.
down.
I would
Yeah.
say I'll stick around. We're
Yeah,
fine.
I think if he doesn't go, it's because he declined it.
I think it's
I think that's who they really want.
I'd rather take the Bears position at this point.
than the Jags.
Yeah.
for sure. Because at least you have a storied city and people who care about your team.
Exactly. And a good defense.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take our last break of the day, and then we are going to get into picks for next week. See you in a minute. And we're back.
he still almost did it.
I almost did, but I didn't.
Good. Good for you. Good for you. We're so proud. This week, 2 more weeks of pro football until we are in the playoffs.
Oh, did I tell you that I made the fantasy football finals?
You did.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Ad
that I said that.
nauseum, you've told us that.
All right. And when I become champion, is there going to be like some sort of plaque or inscription on this wall?
Oh, we didn't tell you? I get to punch the champ as hard as I want in the dick.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh.
Twist his dick.
I might have to lose this to Crowning Shield at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
my
so
goodness.
let's
Let
get
me tell
into
you what. This is a great week of shit football. Here we go. These are
boy.
some bad. Some of these matchups are pretty bad. First game in Buffalo, Falcons, Buffalo Bills.
Eesh. This is in Buffalo?
In Buffalo.
I
yeah.
am taking the Bills.
Yeah, I am taking the Bills as well.
I do not like the Falcons at all for this one.
No, especially not in Buffalo.
Yeah. Well, even if it was in Atlanta.
Shout out to Cordero Patterson. I saw a video of him approaching a fan on the sidelines, and her daughter was crying, and he just runs up and he goes, "Hey, why is she crying?" She goes, "Oh, she's upset because another kid got a ball." He's like, "We got to fix that shit." He walks right over to the equipment manager and goes, "Give me a ball," and walked back over, gave it to her, goes, "Are you happy?" Okay, and then ran back off. I love Cordero Patterson right now.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. When the little girl was crying and he walked up and said, "Give me a ball." Yeah, that's a pretty dope.
No, he walks up and looks at mom and goes, "Why is she crying?"
I like that.
Oh, this next game, I know Ryan's going to watch this to the T from start to finish. The New York Giants versus the Chicago Big Dick Nick led Bears.
Ooh. I'm not picking the Giants for fucking anything. This is another one. They're almost. I'm about to call them Jags Jr. Give me anybody who's playing the Giants.
I kind of just want to yell, "Crap or fight!"
I think this is going to be a
God.
game that you're going to look back and go, "Yep, went just the way I said." The Bears.
I'll take the Bears.
If you're the Giants, we know the Bears are firing their coach. If you're the Giants,
You think Nagy's gone?
no, he's been gone. Do you think that it's smart to bring back Joe Judge and Danny Jones next year? Or just start again?
Joe Judge is already confirmed to come back.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is that a mistake or not?
I don't know. He's
I mean,
been
they
there
got
1
rid of their
year.
GM.
He's been there 1 year. Good on New York. 2 years?
2 or 3, I think. Definitely 2.
I thought he was a brand new coach.
Definitely
with them.
2. Absolutely not. Because Sirianni is a new coach this year. He's 2 years. It's 2 or 3 years. I mean, you can
I gotta
look
look
it
that up.
Go
yeah.
ahead, look it up.
But actually, you look it up because I'm not trying to mess this program
It's
up
true.
again. Okay. All right. So anyway, is anybody picking the Giants?
No.
And moving on.
But do you start? Shouldn't you restart your organization? You
No.
fired the GM,
No.
your new GM, his own coach. No,
Nope.
new
If
quarterback.
They kept the coach. That's for a reason. So I think he's there. Danny Dimes is there. I'm not seeing any quarterbacks coming out right now that the Giants are going to need to go after because he's a franchise changer. So no, I think they can get much better value at a skill position or a line position where they're going to be in the draft.
So they can mess up another offensive line pick like the past 2. By the way, you should thank them for Wirfs.
Oh my God, I do every day of my life.
The next game, which could be the game of the week, depending on if these teams decide to show up or not, because they're in the playoffs. Chiefs and the Bengals
Ooh,
in
oh
Cincinnati.
boy,
Oh boy, is right.
Chiefs.
boy.
Did you say Chiefs over there? Really?
Yeah.
Without even hesitating?
No hesitation.
Wow.
Well,
Shit. I'll tell you what. Cincinnati this week, like, what are you getting? Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde? Like, what is going on?
yeah. I am going to ride the Bengals train on this one. They are not confirmed for the playoffs. The Bengals are trying to shut this thing down.
But they're basically in.
Basically, doesn't mean
Because
in.
they're gonna win the North.
Chiefs have clinched. They're good, and they're going into a very dangerous place to play football. I don't think they're going to be putting it all on the line to try to beat the Bengals at this point. I mean, it's going to be a good game, but I think the Bengals want that one more.
I'll take the Chiefs. They're just so hot, and I get it. The Baltimore Ravens still put up 21 points with a kid with Joe Johnson that just signed with them.
At the end of the game.
So I'll take the Chiefs.
I want to take Cincinnati so bad.
You just don't know what you're going to get.
That and just the way this outside of whatever game it was, they went to overtime and won. The Chargers or something like that.
49ers.
Yeah, Chargers.
Other than that game,
Just charging him.
that Chiefs defense has been on point.
Mhm.
And you know, I think you're right. I think we're going to see a slowed down offense. for sure. But I think that defense is just going to hold them up. I think they're just going to stop them. So I'm going to go the Chiefs.
The three-headed monster has turned into the four-headed monster in Cincy with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, and Joe Burrow. So, I mean, I wouldn't count them out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it like they're going to be a team that's just going to get walked on.
Uzoma isn't like the stat breaker tight end, but if you need him, he'll catch a few balls.
For sure.
Next game, Miami 7-win Dolphins versus the Tennessee Titans. Both teams fighting for the playoffs.
And this is in Tennessee?
It's in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Ooh.
That makes it hard. But I
think the Dolphins had a tougher test. Well, who are the skilled players coming in for Tennessee? No Derrick Henry.
I'm going Dolphins.
I don't think
receivers are back.
I don't think A.J. Brown is going to have the same success against Xavier Howard. I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well.
Shit, my man's going to work his ass.
Proud of you.
Will there be 3 teams in the AFC East in the playoffs? I think so. I'll take the Dolphins too. Just because of that defense. The Titans do have a good defense too, but Miami's defense is just so formidable these past 7 games.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers, a lot of splash plays, and a lot of
playing a bunch of
consistency.
fucking bums.
Okay.
Jeez.
They beat the Ravens with Lamar.
Beat the Ravens with Lamar and just beat the Saints defense.
I mean,
beat the Saints defense 20
Yeah,
points.
because y'all Bucks can't beat them, I mean, they're good, bro.
Hey, man. Listen, at least we're about to beat the Jets.
I'm
Something you guys couldn't do.
Fair?
I'm taking the Dolphins because of the momentum. Like I said earlier, I'm still not sold on Tua. But Dolphins playing good, man.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give it to them.
So this
Interesting.
is kind of a game, even though it shouldn't be. Raiders, Colts in Indianapolis, but no Carson Wentz. I mean,
No, Carson Wentz is tough. Being in Indianapolis is also tough. This is a very tough game for me to pick in terms of who I think can win. But I think
Colts.
the momentum is on the side of the Colts, and the Jonathan Taylor is on the side of the Colts, and that defense has been swarming and taking balls away and scoring touchdowns. Give me the Colts.
the rookie that's never taken a snap in the NFL is going to come in and beat the Raiders. Nah, I'll take the Raiders.
And hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor.
It's all he needs to do.
I'm going Colts.
Yeah.
A defense.
No, but
is
this could go
looking
either
good.
way. The Raiders have played some fantastic football this year. Imagine if they did it if they had a coach and no controversy. But, yeah, I think the Colts are just too good right now.
Do you know who's not going to have a good game this next game? Trevor Lawrence. Jags Pats in New England.
Yeah,
You know how
sorry.
pissed Belichick is?
Sorry, Jags. This is going to be a tune-up game and not the longest yard kind.
Pats. Like, why are we even talking about this
I'm
game?
going Pats, yeah.
I'm going Pats.
Are you going to be crazy?
Yeah, say give me the Jaguars.
Do it.
Yeah, say,
Just do it.
you know what?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
take
Give me
the
the
Pats.
Jaguars.
Do it.
I mean, another
Do it.
another terrible game, depending on if the Bucs sit Brady.
Yeah.
Bucs
Yeah.
Jets in New York.
I hope it's a terrible game in the sense that the Bucs are doing their business. I want to see who, if anybody, from our starters are going to play. I mean, right now, the only guy I think they could sit is Tom Brady and maybe Gronk.
I think it'll be a close game, but I still think the Bucs win.
I don't think it's going to be a close game because I think Zach Wilson is going to have a very tough time. And before we start talking about, oh, well, you know, you guys are missing Shaq Barrett. We were missing JPP last week too. But if you watch the game, all the pressure came from up the middle. And Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea.
I think it's going to be 10 points or less out of the Jets.
Yeah.
And I don't care what happens, who you sit on the Bucs side. If they sit anybody, they're going to beat them.
It's a decent
They
defense.
are.
You guys
Yeah.
are just discrediting, but I'm assuming we're all
No,
taking
we're
the
not.
Bucs.
You're just not. You never credit the offense, and the Bucs defense right now is looking very good.
I'm taking the Bucks as well.
Yeah, I figured. I just wanted to ask. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the bum-ass Washington football team.
Wow. I
They are
love how
bum-asses.
only you get to put the colorful names.
No, you
in.
did that a couple weeks ago with the draft.
Yeah, I
The
did.
Seagulls and shit.
And
I
it went
remember.
really well.
Why are we even talking about this? Eagles are going to win hands down. We're going to the playoffs.
Where's this game?
in bum-ass Washington.
Oof. And Heineke's in there?
Probably, but does it matter?
Did he play you guys last time?
No.
Oh. There we go.
Not when they're infighting like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of trouble going on right now. Ron Rivera's got a lot of work to do to get those boys back on the same page, but I think the Eagles got the hot hand right now.
Montreal just scored a goal.
Yep, 2-2.
It isn't Vassie in net, though. It's Lagasse.
No, yeah. No Vassie, no John Cooper.
COVID?
Yeah.
I'm going Eagles.
I'll take the Eagles.
I really hope we bring benches, too.
That is an Eagles sweep this year, or this time.
The Rams versus the free-falling Ravens.
Rams.
I don't know who the quarterback is for the Rams.
Rams.
I'm
Yeah,
still
Rams.
taking the Rams.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Although if Lamar comes back,
Nope, still Rams.
Yeah.
Because he has to throw against somebody like Jalen Ramsey or Marcus Price.
this is another game
Sorry.
that could go either way. The Denver Mini Ponies
Marcus Peters, not Price.
versus the LA Chargers.
Chargers.
Say it again, Chargers and who?
The Mini Ponies. The Broncos.
Mini ponies.
Yeah, Chargers. I think they are going to be on a tear revenge game,
Yeah,
trying to
Chargers.
clinch some playoff action. The Ravens just didn't want to win the division. It was theirs. It was in their hand. They don't want to win. Give me the Chargers.
I think we're going to see a serious day out of Herbert.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
He's got to.
Yeah.
He's got to. I'll take the Chargers.
People are doubting him heavy now.
The
Hear a lot more.
long neck Texans versus the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco.
The what?
Long neck Texans. Have you seen Davis Mills' neck?
You should really do stand-up, Nello.
Thank you. I tried.
These are so incredibly funny.
I'm just doing the best I can. Just doing the best I can.
Doing the best I can with what I got. Yeah, Niners. I think their streak of beating these really good teams is going to end. If it doesn't, damn it, if we're going to miss the Texans in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Are you
we're
taking the
Niners.
Niners? Yeah, the Niners win and the Eagles win. They're in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
This is big games for them. The Arizona Cardinals
week.
versus the Dallas Cowboys.
This is going to be a good game.
I understand this, but it depends if Dallas sits Dak or not. If Dallas sits Dak, it's not going to be a good game.
Well, what
don't
are the
think
Cards
they do.
going to do? I mean, they've clinched, right? They're in.
I mean,
right?
they're in,
So-
but it's just a positioning thing now.
You think this? Well, nobody's getting first place. Green Bay's got it.
yeah.
Green Bay. So you're not fighting for anything.
I have the graphic of the playoffs.
Yeah. So Cardinals are clinched. Cowboys are clinched. The Bucs are clinched, and Green Bay all done. You're looking at 3 more spots. So if we're talking about teams that need to fight for that, it's the Cardinals.
For sure, but I don't think we're getting a real Dallas team, so I'll take the Cards, even though if it's a real, like, if we're getting the Dallas Cowboys full on everybody's playing,
Yeah.
then I'll take Dallas, but I'm taking the Cards.
I'm taking the Cardinals just because their defense is better than Dallas's. You got 2 high-octane offenses about to go at each other, and I love the Cardinals on this one for the defense.
I can't believe you just said that the Cardinals'
defense
defense
is
is better than the Cowboys.
Bro, I'm sitting here too trying to.
Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs are both up for Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, yes, they're very good. They're very good.
I don't think they're better than I don't think the Cardinals are better. I'm going with Dallas right now. I think they're going to take care of this game.
Cards defense has allowed 30 less yards per game on average for the
Okay.
season.
How many games have the Cards won recently?
They've lost 3 in a row.
Most
Exactly.
importantly, one of those teams is the Detroit Lions. So who got found out? That's what I want to know. What was the pivotal point that changed them from being the ahead favorite to
Hey,
you know?
guys, they're pretty trash without DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Well,
Golly, look
if-
at that.
so-
That's a fact.
Dallas is on a 4-game win streak. 2
Yeah.
games to the football team, 1 to the Giants and 1 to the Saints. They haven't seen, and then they lost to the Raiders. That was their last one. They
Sure.
haven't seen a real football team in now over 5 weeks. Let's
Yeah.
look at the full schedule.
You might be right. But Dallas has had some knockdown dragouts this year, and the Arizona Cardinals have been kind of touchy at best here at the end.
Let's do these last 2 games, and then I want to go into, like,
Yeah, let's go.
hypothetical playoff scenarios.
Let's
real
go.
quick. So did you take Dallas?
Yeah,
Yes, yeah, I took Dallas.
Okay, so the next game, Panthers Saints in New Orleans.
Saints.
Saints.
Panthers are not winning another game this season.
And then Lions Seahawks is next.
Seahawks.
It's in
Seahawks.
It's in Seattle.
Yeah, give me the Seahawks. Lions can't decide if they want to go to bat for me.
I'll take
or
the
not.
Lions just because they've been playing pretty good. And
They just lost.
yeah, but they didn't lose by much. And Pete Carroll called out Russell Wilson the other day saying he needs to be better. So I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
They tied Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we all take the Saints again? I'm sorry, I missed them.
Yes,
I took
we
the
all-
Saints, yeah.
Yep, we all took the Saints.
The Minnesota zero chance Vikings after they lose to the Packers in
Packers.
Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay. I think the Minnesota Vikings are a really pesky team, and I like them a lot. I've picked them a lot. This is not that game.
Yeah, Packers win.
Green Bay right now is my favorite for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Packers win. This isn't even close.
Packers.
Cleveland at the Steelers. Both teams playing for their playoff hopes dwindling by a thread.
Steelers.
I'm going to go with Cleveland.
I got to take Baker.
This is a really tough game to pick because Myles Garrett is a guy who exists, and Ben Roethlisberger being able to stand upright has been a big deal, and Cleveland has really been getting after them. That being said, is this in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Steelers.
Wow. Okay. You, sir?
You already said.
I was taking Cleveland.
You both took Cleveland. We both got the Steelers.
Baker Mayfield's just a sober Johnny Manziel.
I like that a lot, too. That was good, man. And it's true. It's so true. And these being rivals, when Ben is in there, he typically beats the Browns.
So, let's look at the playoff scenarios real quick. Let's go to the AFC. We'll do this real fast. So Kansas City is first, so they'd get the bye.
Was that the last game? That's Monday night's game?
Yeah, that's Monday night's game.
Ooh, it's going to be a good one.
So you got Kansas City at 11-4. They're basically going to skate through. Tennessee 10-5. The Bengals 9-6. Buffalo 9-6. Colts 9-6. New England 9-6. And then the Dolphins rounding out the last spot 8-7.
I don't disagree with it.
So if the playoffs ended today, the Titans would play the Dolphins, and the Bengals would play the Patriots, and the Bills would play the Colts.
That would be a wild round of games.
Right? That's crazy.
That you could see the Bills, who were my favorite to win the Super Bowl, get knocked off early.
Which would be a rematch of last year's, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Bills have been such a letdown.
they really
I told
have.
y'all that from the beginning of the season. I didn't believe they were who they.
In the
You
AFC,
did.
in the AFC, you have 4 teams at 8-7 vying for the 7th seed: the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Raiders.
I give that to the Raiders and the Chargers if you got to pick two.
Well, you only get one out of the two because we're assuming the Patriots and the Colts are in at 9-6. There's 2 games left. If they win one, they're good.
Then yeah, I think Herbert is there. He's ready to elevate the Chargers.
You're gonna take the Dolphins out of the playoffs.
No, you said I had to pick the one more. You
Right.
said-
It's either the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Chargers, or the Raiders.
oh
One.
yeah, I'm going with the Chargers.
You
on
take
that
the
one.
Dolphins. Your Dolphins are out. What about you?
Yeah. The
What was
Dolphins have to play one of their rivals again before the season's over, right? They have to play New England.
I'm pretty sure. I'll go look right now.
So yeah, I think the Chargers have the better chance.
Yeah.
They got to play the
Chargers
Titans
over there.
next week. Well, this week, and then the Patriots in the last week of the year.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, those are 2 tough games.
So if the
I'm not
Patriots
gonna-
lose again and the Dolphins win, then that last game becomes make it and take it for
Yep.
both teams.
that's incredible.
That's
For
nuts.
some weird reason, the Dolphins seem to beat them in those.
So if you're a Tennessee fan, who would you rather play?
It don't matter.
Okay.
Line 'em
All
up.
right.
Yeah. Who
You're
would you
the
rather? Who would you rather
Who
play?
would you
Clay?
rather play?
No, I know I don't want to play the Chiefs. Not first round.
No, the Chiefs get the bye. They get the
No,
bye.
Yeah.
They get the first round bye.
So of all those teams,
right.
I mean, would you rather play the Patriots, the Dolphins, or the
the
Chargers?
Man, definitely not the Chargers.
I think whatever.
I don't
play
know,
the
man.
Chargers.
I think
It all depends on who's got home field advantage.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick, I'd say the Dolphins.
I would agree. I would have to play the Dolphins too.
Especially talking home field.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dolphins.
If I've got to go to the Dolphins or the Patriots, I'm picking in wintertime football.
Well,
I'm
no,
Dolphins
Tennessee
all
is
day, of
second, so
course.
they're going to be coming to Tennessee.
There you go. Even better.
Okay, so yeah.
Even better. Then you definitely want Miami
I
coming
want
to town.
Miami going
Yeah,
to Tennessee.
come on up.
I
It
don't
gets-
want the
it gets
Ravens
cold
with
up there.
Lamar. I'll tell you that. I want to avoid the
The
Ravens
Ravens,
with
the
Lamar.
Ravens will be out of the conversation.
Yeah, assuming
Lamar's
that they lose.
ankle injury has successfully tanked that team's hopes at the playoffs.
But you know what's awesome of that fact is the fact it took his ankle injury to tank them because he was still carrying a decimated injury.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And then in the AFC, you've got the Green Bay Packers at 12-3, the Cowboys 11-4, the Rams 11-4, the Bucs 11-4 in fourth. The only reason why the Cowboys is ahead of all those teams is because of a conference win percentage.
Okay.
So the Bucs would technically formally go against 5 seed at Arizona. Then you have the Eagles at 7 and the Niners at 6.
I would rather see the Cardinals than any of those other teams.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I no.
would, because 45 can track down Kyler Murray. We can get a lot of pressure on that offense.
Yeah,
And
I like that matchup.
Our defense is much more. Our offense is much better suited to beat Arizona.
Can your defense stop D-Hop when he comes back for the playoffs?
What team are you mentioning that can? You just got to slow him down. And so if we can take that option away and just put somebody like Antoine Winfield or Jordan Whitehead and say, listen, whatever corner's on him, you're shadowing over top.
Yeah, I think
And that may not even do anything for you.
well, and I think when you look at Kyler Murray, look at the Super Bowl. If they just keep him moving, that I think it would kind of be the same scenario where it's a pretty big win.
Not to mention, you're talking about a Tampa Bay team that in the playoff scenario, if you're looking at the injury sheet alone, you're getting back Leonard Fournette, Shaquille Barrett. You're getting back. You're not getting. I'm sorry, I was thinking about Mike Evans. Mike Evans will be back. Levante David will be back on the defense. You're seeing a lot of strength.
It doesn't matter.
To the Bucs.
If you're the Bucs, you want to place the Eagles, so you want to get into that 2nd seed and then.
Oh,
play
I
the Eagles.
definitely want to play the Eagles.
So we can beat you.
No, we have a very good record against you guys in the playoffs.
That would be that would be a lovely little warm up game to welcome you.
I'll
to
tell
the
you this: if
playoffs,
that game is in Tampa Bay and that does happen, guess who's going?
Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah.
We're going.
That would be amazing.
Hey, if it's in the Eagles Stadium, like the one when they opened it, the team that beat them that one
Oh,
time
wait,
was,
no, that was their first game was against the Bucs, but they lost that one. Are you talking about the last? It's still the Bucs.
oh yeah, that's right.
It's still the Bucs. Just go ahead, rub it in there. Just give it a little twist.
Oh, we do. You guys were making fun of a man whose son had died, and
Hey,
we're asking
I
him,
don't
"How's
condone
your
that. That
son
was pretty
doing?"
dirty.
So the Bucs absolutely owned you guys in that stadium because I guarantee you, Joe Juravicius walked into that locker room and was like, "Did you hear what those guys just said?" And the Bucs said, "All right, we're going to kill their whole families."
Is it going to be a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl? Does anybody see anybody dethroning the 1 seeds out of both sides?
Yeah, I see the Chiefs getting dethroned.
Really?
I don't see Green Bay getting dethroned though.
If the Chiefs do lose, who are they going to lose to?
There's a lot of good teams that you mentioned. I think we're going to see one of those potential teams this weekend in Bengals Chiefs. We're going to see a very good matchup there. The Bengals are a really good sleeper team with having a lot of people at all the levels. They've got playmakers at every level of that team.
But can they fucking
they've
get it
sold me
together?
on them, but
Yeah.
it's hard for me to say that the Chiefs are going to be beat. It's just tough to do.
With
really
Kelsey
is.
and Tyreek and Patrick Mahomes, it's definitely an uphill battle to claim that throne.
Yeah.
So anybody dethroned in the pack?
I don't think so. Not with them having home field advantage and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams being on each other like they have all year. It's been insane. This is probably going to be the coldest game of the year. They're going to have to go into really, really hostile territory to try to win a game. And Aaron Rodgers is having an MVP season. It was him and Tom for a little while, but a couple weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers made this jump and has not stopped. They look unreal. And I mean, imagine if it gets later in the season. Do they get Jair Alexander back? He's their best corner, and their secondary has been balling.
Can Dallas stop them?
Can Dallas?
Full Dallas team playing at 150%. I mean, that's really the only team I could see going stride for stride with that offense.
I disagree. I think Dak would crumble in the pressure on that one. I think Green Bay is a tough place for him. I don't think anybody's going to walk out of Green Bay with a victory.
I mean, it won't happen because we'll beat them in the wild card game.
Sure, I forgot about that part.
I don't see the Packers having any problem with Dallas just because their defense will stop Dallas several times, and I don't.
It is the only formidable team, and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a homer here, but we're not at full strength. So right now, I'm not picking the Buccaneers to be world beaters.
And you won't
I
be.
think we make a playoff run, but I don't think we take it to the Super Bowl and win.
I don't think you win the Super Bowl either this year. I think you guys get to the conference final and lose.
I'd really like to see them at least go back.
Me too.
I think it'll be hard.
It's
man.
hard. Yeah, it's hard to look past the pack.
But let me say
just
this.
is.
Whatever team, if you beat the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, you're the favorite.
Yeah. But, I mean, talk like this is what was a lot of fuel for that defense in the playoff run last year.
Yeah.
They could come out and surprise.
And we were coming in 8-8, not really balling, and Tom Brady wasn't looking too great. And then we had gone streaking with him and got into the playoffs, snuck in, won. I mean, it was pretty wild. So, yeah, as far as matchups go, we're really getting into the heat of it. We're going to start seeing who our clear-cut favorites are, and actually I think next week we'll have a razor-thin line of who's going to be where. So, all right, we're going to call it a day here. I think that's all we got. Nello, you got anything for the kids at home?
Nah, man, I was just looking at some of these Packer stats. Fly, Eagles, fly. Get this playoff spot and let's stop playing games.
Well, if I may be allowed to retort, go Bucs, baby.
Oh, go Cincinnati Bearcats.
Fire them cannons.
Roll Tide.
Oh, penetration. The late John Madden.
Penetration. And that's where we're going to leave it with penetration. That's going to be the new category we talk about next week.